Discover battery power made by steel. Our average HD homeowner system starts at just $199. Real steel. Find yours in over 10,000 local steel dealers. Now we begin. Enjoy your body more. The moments no one has with us. The plays no one has with us. That is hockey on Espn Box Score.
Are you impatient to receive medication through an IV to manage a chronic medical condition like MS, Crohn's disease, or rheumatoid arthritis? At Infusion Associates, we've created an alternative to a hospital visit where you can receive.
Okay, so I'm going to get the starting lineups taken care of in this game, and when Patrick Rush will join in, then we will get everything squared away as far as the broadcast. So let me give you the starting lineups first. We're going to do this for the Los Angeles Kings. So the starting lineups officially sound like this for the LA Kings. It's Anze Kopitar, Adrian Kempe, and Kevin Fiala with Mikey Anderson and Drew Doughty on the first line defense. Philip Danault, Trevor Moore, and Victor Arvidsson occupied with Sean Dursey and Matt Roy. Quinn Byfield, Alex Iafallo, and Gabe Villiardi with Alexander Edler and Brant Clark, and then Blake Lizotte, Brandon Lemieux, and Arthur Keliev for the Los Angeles Kings. It's going to be Jonathan Quick in net. And for the Detroit Red Wings, it's Dylan Larkin, Dominic Kubalik, and Lucas Raymond on the familiar first line, although they're missing some names, and we will get into that. Ben Trott, Moritz Seider will be your first line defense. It's Andrew Kopp, Philip Sedina, and David Perron with Ole Mata and Philip Peronic, Michael Rasmussen, Elmer Soderblom, and Oscar Sundquist with Robert Hagg and Gustav Lidstrom, and then Joseph Valeno with Adam Ernie and Pius Suter. And then Ville Husso will be in net for the Red Wings. So as it stands, going into tonight's game, the Los Angeles Kings are sitting at a 1-2 record, and the Detroit Red Wings are 2-0. We're playing this game at LCA tonight. Again, I will be joined by Patrick Rush shortly here. So as this goes, the LA Kings, let's get into them first, as I have some of the stuff in my notes. They're coming off 4-3 and 4-1 losses to the Golden Knights. Again, it did that game there on opening on a Tuesday, and the Seattle Kraken. A 7-6 win over the Wild on Saturday. Team leaders for the Kings, Alex Iafallo, 2 goals, 2 assists. Anze Kopitar, 4 assists. Gabe Villiardi, 2 goals, 2 assists as well. And Adrian Kempe, 3 goals and 1 assist in 3 games played. So the big guns are doing the majority of the damage there for the Kings, but they sit at 1-2, and Victor Arvidsson has not recorded a point this year so far. So here's the intrigue of this game, and here's maybe why I say doing some of these home team games sometimes, I try to spread across the league there as far as not covering the Red Wings all the time. But I would expect the LA Kings in this contest to come out with a strong effort. And why do I think so? The Red Wings are playing 3 games in 4 nights. That puts them in a situation where things can get pretty difficult, right? And then they just got the pretty big news, just like the Columbus Blue Jackets did last week with Andrew Laine, that the Red Wings are going to be without Tyler Bertuzzi for about 4 to 6 weeks. So that's going to put them in a situation where they're going to miss some heavy artillery. And then as well, it's going to be Jacob Vrana out for personal reasons here tonight. So no Bertuzzi for an extended period of time, no Vrana for today's game, and games in 3 of 4 nights. So that's why I feel like the Red Wings could be put in a predicament. But this is also one of those ones that I wanted to do this broadcast tonight because of this sole reason. Coming off the Friday-Saturday wins over the Montreal Canadiens and the New Jersey Devils, it's a back-to-back. 3-4 years ago, the Wings probably don't win back-to-back games. And now they got 3 games in 4 nights with the LA Kings team that wants to be able to make some damage in the Pacific Division. They haven't gotten off to the start they wanted. Granted, I know it's 3 games. So I'm going to expect a big push by the Kings tonight. I want to see how the Red Wings respond to this. And we will see if everything else is legit, because after this, the Red Wings won't play until Friday when they go take on the Chicago Blackhawks at the United Center. So they'll get some time off after this, and then we'll see how it goes. So this should be a big game tonight early here for the Red Wings, and we'll find out exactly what they're made of. Again, when Patrick Rush joins in on the broadcast, we will get him in here as well and look forward to it tonight. So hope you guys enjoy. There has been a lot of big movers here. As they said, Tyler Bertuzzi is expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks. He left Saturday's game with an upper body injury, as it's called. It's kind of a a shot block right into the arm. If you're following along on YouTube, kind of hit him in the middle of the part of the arm there. So they're showing Dylan Larkin, Cobb, Rasmussen, Boleno at center spot, Kubelik, Sedina, Soderblom, Ernie in the left wing, and Lucas Raymond, Perron, Sundquist, and Suter on the right side, as we've said through our lines. So, as always, this game will be followed at hopelessportsguy.wordpress.com. And if you have any other particulars before we get into tonight's game, just always leave comments in Colorcast, where we're casting today, and on YouTube side. And I will see you for the official puck drop in a moment. All right, so before we get into the official puck drop, I know Patrick's going to join me in the interim of this game. So once we actually do get started, I will be on the play-by-play. He's going to give me some color, and he's going to have some fun with this contest. Again, it's going to be two Michigan boys watching a Red Wings game here. He's a Michigan State alma mater. I'm an Oakland University alum, so we can have some fun with all that stuff. We just want to watch the Red Wings play a good game here when we get to that point. So as always, full game coverage will follow, and I'm looking forward to it when we get in here because it's not often I get a chance to do some Red Wings games, and hopefully on this 4K Fire Stick, we'll be honest here, there's no freezing on this side. There's been some Xfinity updates. So we should be good as far as the TV side of it, and we're just kind of waiting for this game to start. And anyone floods in, welcome. Just a little bit the puck drop here. I appreciate anyone that's following in on YouTube. Again, no Tyler Bertuzzi in this contest. So that's going to make things a little bit difficult here for the Wings, and then no Jacob Arana with personal reasons. So I just want to give an update here as we're waiting for the puck drop. I see the Cleveland and New York game. Tonight's game will not start at the originally scheduled 7:07 due to inclement weather. So the officials are going to recess, and they're probably going to recess here in about a couple minutes. So I'll look on the TBS side real quick as we're still waiting for our game and puck drop. So let's look at this. We're going to just flip through. I can give you some momentary updates as well for the game when it does get underway. So right now, TBS side, they're showing Curtis Granderson, Ernie Johnson. Curtis Granderson's my boy there. Showing him on that side, and they're going to be waiting for the first pitch, but it's not going to be at 7:07 for that game. I know that's going to be covered on Colorcast as well. So everyone's going to have to sit tight for that game to start. Reason really why I went with the Red Wings game too, it should be a relatively short night. Again, the Monday Night Football game is probably not going to attract a lot of attention. It's not really a preeminent game today. So we went to go with the home assignment this time. We don't normally do that. So I'll let you know anything else that's going on. And we're waiting for puck drop when we get commercial breaks as well. And then when Patrick will probably be joining, Patrick Rush will probably join about another hour or so. So what do we have on the NHL scoreboard? Panthers and Bruins are just underway. Penguins and Canadiens, Ducks, Rangers, Coyotes, Maple Leafs, Canucks, Capitals, all at 7. Avalanche Wild at 8. Jets, Stars at 8:30, and the Kraken and the Hurricanes at 10. The Stars are coming off of 2 wins over the Nashville Predators. So Nashville's 2-2 on the season. They won the 2 games in Prague. They lost 2 games to the Stars. So we'll figure out more about the Stars when they actually start playing some other teams other than Nashville. So we'll figure out what they're all about. As always, if you have any questions in the YouTube section, Colorcast section, let me know. I appreciate anyone that follows along. Oh, there's Patrick. Let's get him in right now. So Patrick's going to be coming in here, and we're getting real close to puck drop here. So I kind of give you the particulars and the lineup. Patrick, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing okay.
I'm looking forward to this game, man. It's the first time for us to be able to do a game together here. Again, let's have fun with it and whatever else. I know the Red Wings are starting 2-0 on the season, so we're both excited about that. I do think the LA Kings are going to have a little bit of pushback here today. They're 1-2 on the season. We found out today, unfortunately, that Tyler Bertuzzi is going to miss 4 to 6 weeks. So that is something that is going to hurt the Red Wings. Jacob Vrana will not dress tonight due to personal reasons. So Vrana should be ready to go by the time we hit the Friday game against the Blackhawks. But no Bertuzzi for an extended amount of time. And games in 3 of 4 nights. So Patrick, before puck drop here, I know it was some easy games there to start, but I normally wouldn't see the Red Wings win some back-to-back. So I'm really excited to see what happens against the Kings.
But yeah, let's see if he steps up. He's old Bertuzzi, not old, but old, like old LE Bertuzzi.
So right now we've gotten the official puck drop right now, and I'll pull up my lineups as Drew Doughty was able to pinball one to Sider, but it bounces back to Rasmussen right now. So it's a little bit of mix of lines there for Derek Lalonde's squad. And line 3, Patrick, with Elmer Soderblom and Rasmussen and everyone else. I think they might get the name of the Big Redwoods because everybody's about 6'5" on that side. And they've been doing some damage here right now early in the season. But this is a big contest here early for the Red Wings and see what they do at home. So we'll get through some of the play-by-plays and all that stuff. But since you're in here, we got enough sides. What are some of your thoughts here early for the Red Wings or some of the moves that have been made?
To be honest with you, what they did through I talked to my dad a lot, and one thing that we talked about is that how their blue line has really been improved and got lengthier and taller. I think that's only going to serve to help us.
Yeah.
And I think we have also improved in their goaltending abilities, so that should be exciting as well.
Yeah, when you got Ville there, and then you got some of the stuff like you said with Sider and all of that, you have Edmondson probably coming a little bit later in the year. They want to get big, and you remember what Eisman did in Tampa there with Victor Hedman. That makes a lot of sense in how he wants to build. So Dylan Larkin was knocked off the puck now, as Sean Dursey will bring this in across the blue line, and then checked off as Philip Peronic will be behind the net there of Ville. He's coming off a 3-0 shutout over the Montreal Canadiens. And again, some people might laugh at that, but the Toronto Maple Leafs did lose to them in the first game of the season. So it was good to see the Red Wings actually get a shutout. We got about 18-15 left to go in the first. I know, Patrick, you'll probably be a little bit ahead of me because I'm doing a streaming side of it. So you'll probably be about 15 seconds ahead of me. So we'll hopefully try not to pull everything out.
Yeah.
So as this is picked up across the red line now.
And we were playing in the Joe. We have to win this. We got to win these road games.
That's what you want to be able to do. You want to see the Red Wings take the game at LCA, and you want to see them try to be able to get a win in the games in 3 of 4 nights. That's not something that we normally talk about on a schedule, but that's the way it is. This is going to be the Red Wings' toughest test this season because they're playing the Blackhawks on Friday. That should be another serviceable win, but we'll see what they do tonight. So Drew Doughty's got it at the blue line side, right
Right
B.
now we're like number 2 in the Atlantic.
Yes, we are, right? We are actually number 2 right now, and it doesn't matter who you play on the schedule. You just got to get those wins.
And that's why I think we got to take care of this game against the Kings.
That was a good...
The Kings are good, right? But they're not, like, great.
The Kings are coming off of a 7-game series loss to the Edmonton Oilers in the playoffs. Now, Patrick, the one thing that you want to remember here is what the pundits are saying. But again, the pundits aren't always correct. They say that the Kings will finish in the top 3 in the division in the Pacific. That's with Calgary and everything else like that. So they're supposed to be really good, but they've not gotten off to the start that they've wanted. The net was knocked off its moorings, and we're going to do this again. The Red Wings will have a defensive zone draw that we got to win. As you're looking at Todd McClellan, again, we got the Bally Sports Detroit side feed, 95, 92, and 24. He's been a Detroit assistant coach and a 2008 Stanley Cup champion. He's been with the Sharks for a long time, too. He inherited a rebuilding Kings team that are looking to do a lot more damage. So the refs are just trying to check something here. And to be honest with you guys, I'm not really sure what it is just yet, but I think we're going to be getting puck drop here momentarily. As you get a look at Derek Lalonde. He's pretty much been everywhere you could possibly be. He's had jobs everywhere throughout the organization, not just through the NHL, but college and everywhere across. So this is his first big-time opportunity, and we'll see what he does with the Red Wings as they ice it. And Victor Arvidsson will touch up with the hybrid icing. We're still scoreless, 17:08 left to go in the first. I'm honored to be joined with Patrick Rush here today on color. We're just going to watch this game and have fun with you and call it as we see it. And hopefully can find the Red Wings win to try to go 3-0 on the season before they're going to be off for the next 4 days.
Oh, gosh, it'd be such a glorious thing to guitar off for you now. I am dying for a winning game.
Yes, we are. Everybody in Detroit is very hungry as Husso made a couple of saves. And you know what it was there, Patrick? I'm also thinking about this too, because I know that you do the broadcast and stuff there for the Lions. I bet you were probably happy that there was going to be a bye week, that you didn't have to deal with that stuff this week, although you did get an excellent win there for the Spartans in overtime. So thankfully you got the bye week there for the Lions. You got a Spartans overtime victory. So it was pretty good for us this week. There wasn't much misery.
Yeah, what are you referring to? Oh, Michigan State.
So, again, I went to Oakland University, so I really don't have a horse in the race. I just always want to see a competitive team, and then whoever makes it to the playoffs between either one, I root for them. Yeah, I'm rooting for the state of Michigan. I know it's probably a cop-out answer, but if I say that to anyone else that's downstairs with the Michigan alum, I'll probably get beheaded. So that's just between me and you.
I mean, I'm a Spartan alumnus.
Mm-hmm.
My sister, Mary, went to Oakland. She graduated from the university program. She actually got pretty good grades at Oakland University, but is at the point. So I have a little bit of familial ties there. But when it comes to like Michigan State, I'm a diehard Spartan.
Mm-hmm.
Like even if I went to Michigan's law school, I'd still root for Michigan State when they played Michigan.
As you should, man. I mean, that's just the way it goes. If you love the team and you went there, I understand all that.
I graduated from Michigan State.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, as you should. You're always going to die with your alumni. I mean, the only thing I can really root for is Oakland basketball.
It wasn't that bad.
No, Greg Campy's been there forever, so I always kind of enjoy that when they actually made a couple tournament runs when I was there. But, I mean, I'm older than you now. I'm 35, so I'm probably one of the oldest people on the platform now. But, I mean, I could still root for them and have fun, but hopefully, like you said, we get some winning Detroit teams pretty soon. So Carl Grunstrom has this now with Brennan Lemieux. Grunstrom will pick this up around with the help of Lazat. As Ole Mata is actually playing against his former team. Now, Red Wing, he was on the Kings last year when they made it the first round and lost in 7 games to the Oilers. Kaliev and Dursey collide, and now the Red Wings could actually have a breakout. So Adam Ernie, Sider, and Ernie snipes and scores! He looked off Sider there and just took that shot, and it surprised me Adam Ernie makes it 1-0, and in the first shot against Jonathan Quick, the Red Wings have the lead. Pretty good.
Honestly, I think the Red Wings are the hope for the Detroit to make the playoffs. Win the game.
That would be the one team that I would pick, Patrick. What did you see on that goal? I really like that shot from Adam Ernie, bar down, post.
I like how he just was swagger skated up the ice and then just put that in there on that goal.
Because you would think, even on the fourth line side, even with Adam Ernie, you could always look off for Sider and have him get a shot, but he took the confidence, took the goal, and that's something that you want to see. And also another thing that we get to see this year is the first game for Philip Zadina, because he's going to take some time there with Bertuzzi and the Baronimus in today's game. So you want to see that confidence. As the Kings, they've given up some goals. They had a 7-6 win over the Minnesota Wild. They've given up quite a few, probably about 4 a game. And now the Kings come down and score immediately. And we'll see who this one is going to be for. So the first 2 shots that we saw pretty much here, Patrick, they've gone in the net. The Kings have tied it at the 15-15 mark. So I'm going to pull up this ESPN box score for everybody, and I will give you the particulars of what we have. So again, that Kings goal was so quick that they don't have all that stuff up yet. So I'm looking on the secondary replay, and Gabe Vigliardi, he's been one of the top performers there. He has 4 goals on the season now, as the Kings are sitting at 1-2, but they tied the game at 1. So it was Adam Ernie and Pius Suter and Ole Mata at 426 and 445, Gabe Vigliardi right now. So 1-1 game, 15 minutes in. John out here with you on the play-by-play. I'm joined by none other than Patrick Rush. We're going to watch this game and have fun today. And then, as always, I will give you complete game coverage to follow at hopelesssportsguide.wordpress.com. Red Wings momentarily fan on it, as this goes back to Dominic Kubalik, former Blackhawk. He signed a 2-year deal in the offseason, as this is banked down the ice on the end boards where the Kings can touch up. Drew Doughty has it now. Victor Arvidsson, as they're stuck in their own end. Arvidsson tries to spin this around back for Doughty. Quentin Byfield is out there on the third line side for Todd McClellan's squad. Doughty stuck on the backhand. I see a lot of empty seats right now, Patrick, here at the LCA.
I don't like that. I hope it's due to, it sounds bad, but, I hope it's not due to fandom, just tickets prices or something. I hope it's not, that sounds mean, but, I just don't want it because people aren't interested, because we are hockey fans.
That's what I would say. So I've been down to LCA a couple times, and I'm sure you have too, or been around there, because it's even just for Pistons and things like that. But there's not a lot of parking down at LCA. They need to get some structures down there to be able to make things a little bit easier, I would say. That would definitely help.
I've been there for a Pistons game only against the soon-to-be NBA champion Golden State Warriors.
Yeah.
Little did I know at the time, and they played their bench with Kuminga, Moses Moody, and Jordan Poole, and the starter Andrew Wiggins, and they still won.
Yeah.
I just barely got a chance to Cade. I'm so high up I need binoculars probably.
Sitting in a gondola, I heard, is an experience if you did that, but I remember, just like you did in the same time when they built LCA, it was specifically for the Red Wings. And then they moved the Pistons down there, who honestly to me, because I'm closer, I live in the Highland, Michigan area, I was closer to the Palace. So I was kind of bummed when they tore all that stuff down. I thought that was a beautiful facility.
Yeah, I thought so too, and they put so much money in renovations into a year in and year out. It's why waste it? Try to get a WNBA team or something. Don't waste such a great facility. And they said if the NBA were to move a team, move to Detroit Pistons, it wouldn't be due to facilities, even with the Pals, because it kept them renovated and keeping it up to date.
Man, that just doesn't make much sense to me. I know I've seen a majority of Pistons game there when I was a real young kid. I saw a wrestling match there, and then I think the last concert that I went to was Kendrick Lamar, and then I think because I didn't go to Bob Seger. That was the last concert that was there. But I went to Kendrick Lamar. I think the next week was Bob Seger, and then it was tore down. And that was pretty much it.
Well, Kendrick Lamar was on the last Access to Palace. It's a big deal.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun at that. My cousin ended up taking me, and she's like, I got good tickets. You want to go? And they ended up moving us to right in front. I was right in front, just like standing near the gate.
You got to see Kendrick so close. It's lit.
Yeah, that was.
There's this one summer, it's like summer 17 or 18. And like Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole were both on tours.
That would have been cool. You didn't get a chance to go see that?
No.
Because my cousin Annette, the one that took me, she was the one that told me, like you just said, that J. Cole and Kendrick were also on the same stage together. So that's really cool if you would have been able to actually see that. He didn't appear when I was there, though. I'm trying to think of, it might have been Travis Scott and Kendrick Lamar. I think that's who was there for me. So we're back underneath the action right now. 13:25 left to go in the first. And it's going to be an icing. It's going to be a chance for the Red Wings to get an offensive zone draw. So 1 goal apiece. The latest Kings one, again, was just about 19 seconds later. Go ahead.
I'll just say hello to the person that joined us.
Oh, what's going on? Let me make sure you got... what's going on, buddy? How you doing? So the latest Gabe Villiardi goal was from Alex Iafallo and Drew Doughty. That was at 13:20 as we are right now at 4:45 when they officially scored. So the Red Wings have it in the offensive zone with Ben Sherratt, and they will spin around with Michael Rasmussen. So the Redwood line is really out there right now. These guys are about 6'5" average, and Elmer Soderblom is sitting at 6'8". He is currently the tallest player in the NHL. So eat your heart out, Zdeno Chara, that officially retired. So now this goes back to Ville Husso and Moritz Seider. We'll try to go right to left across your timeline. Yes, he is 6'8", and he plays for the Red Wings here, Patrick. So it's Michael Rasmussen, Elmer Soderblom, and then Oscar Sundqvist. So the line is at least 6'5", and Soderblom is 6'8". They put him at the front of the net for the most part, but he's got some pretty sick hands. But you and I can remember a really good Red Wing that played in front of the net, and Tomas Holmstrom. And that's kind of what I think that they will do with Soderblom there for a little bit. Yes, it takes a lot of intrigue to take a beating in front of the net as Raymond's tip goes a little wide. But when you got a tree trunk like that in front of the net that also has hands and some skating ability, it makes sense to obscure the vision of the goaltender. So Robert Haig had his puck bounce off of one of the Kings defenders, and the Kings now are trying to flutter this and across the red line as it's intercepted and then picked up by the Red Wings in the neutral zone. Dylan Larkin, the captain's got it now, number 71, racing near the right side dot. He's just going to rattle this around the kick plate. But this is going to get blown dead, and we're going to get a neutral zone draw with 12:20 left. We're tied at 1. So they're showing on the Bally Sports side all of the new additions here, Patrick. And I think the one thing you can speak to this too, Derek Lalonde's the new head coach. Eisman made about 7 new additions, and I want to think that you're going on the same direction where Derek Lalonde and Steve Eisman, with all the new additions, want to be able to just make sure that the coach doesn't fall on his face, but also be an attraction of where they don't fall apart in March and April. When Patrick comes back, we can speak to that as we're back underway. So Philip Peronic, they're with Oli Mata right now, and across the red line. Trevor Moore's going to try to get to it, but Jonathan Quick is just going to hold on. So it's Walker and Brent Clark. As I see, they've had Alexander Edler as well, so we'll keep track of these defensemen here for you. Brent Clark, I believe, is 19 for the LA Kings, so he is another one of those young players getting some time for the LA Kings, along with Quentin Byfield in his second season, where if the Kings want to make that push, they expect their rookies to be able to help out guys like Kopitar and Drew Doughty, players that have been there for a long time, and always put up production because they're alongside the 2008-2010 Cup teams. And that pretty much whole 2000s, 10s through all that was dominated by the Kings and the Chicago Blackhawks. So Gabe Vilardi trying to get a piece of it now here for the Kings as Joe Veleno is trying to put a stop to it as this is going in between the right side red line here. And Pew Suter will pick this up. Pew Suter is going to sit on the fourth line right now here for Derek Lalonde's squad as this goes back down the ice to Mikey Anderson. So Mikey Anderson and Drew Doughty, the first line defense out there for Tom McClellan's squad. It's 1-1 with 11:20 left to go in the opening stanza. John out here with you. I'm joined by Patrick Rush. He's going to follow along and call this game with me as we're going to partake in a Red Wings game here together. Just two boys from Michigan here trying to watch this game. Loose out in front. Bill like Huso gets his hands on it, and a few of the Red Wings fall on top of it as Ben Sherratt had a fistful of one of the LA Kings. That was Blake Lazat that was trying to get up at the bottom of the pile. So David Perron, team ranks this season, 6 scoring chances, 4 cycles, 4 slot shots, and 4 one-timers. So he's been all over the ice. That's courtesy of Sports Logic IQ. And one of those situations that I'll mention like this, with David Perron, he's been with the St. Louis Blues, the Vegas Golden Knights. He can score. He can do a lot on the second line. And when you have to move him into the first, just like you would today a little bit, I would think when you're mixing some lines with Kubalik, he's going to be able to do some damage. So 11 minutes left to go in the first as this goes back to the Wings now. They're breaking right to left. Big shot there. Veleno. It's loose out in front. Another rebound there by Quick, but this one is stopped as Ben Sherratt is going to try to get this. He's going to have to win a foot race there, and Adrian Kempe will get the hybrid icing. Or they're going to say maybe Ben Sherratt actually got it there because he did get there first, and all of a sudden Kempe's got a huge smile on his face. So that was probably a fortunate break there.
I like our goaltending. Toronto friends of mine are like, "Oh, Curtis the goalie."
Yeah, you have to think about. At least we have a good goaltending situation there, Patrick. As you think about Toronto Maple Leafs, they're going to lose Matt Murray, the former Penguin, for about 6 weeks. So that's going to be a tough one there. At least the Red Wings have a solid goaltending tandem. And you also have Sebastian Cossa upcoming probably sometime next year. So Dylan Larkin gets kicked out of the draw as Dominic Kubalik lost it, and Drew Doughty has it now. Doughty, and across the right faceoff dot, picked up by Larkin. It's a 3-on-3 developing the other way, but it goes just wide. Robert Hagg has a pinball off of one of the Red Wings, and now it's picked up by LA. They're going to spin back in their own end right now as Doughty will touch there with Mikey Anderson. First line defense again is out there for the LA Kings. Let's go. Red Wings chant is breaking out at LCA right now. This is a relatively quiet contest, but we're going to have our first penalty of the game. That's going to go against the Red Wings, and we'll see what that's going to be on when they actually get a chance to touch up on this puck as we hit the halfway marker of the first period. Battled in between a couple of skate blades, the LA Kings and Victor Arvidsson. That was a nice move there as he was a hold off the backhand. Now this one will not be touched just yet there by Adam Ernie, as the Kings are still working with the extra man right now, and they have a chance to set up on a 6-on-5 until the Red Wings actually touch this puck. So Doughty now toward the red line side is going to try to get this back. Moore lost his stick. Slap shot on front got bounced away by the Red Wings as this is picked back up by the Kings near the right faceoff dot. Philip Danault is going to wait near an open left side. Pass across there from Moore, but it didn't hit Arvidsson, and the Red Wings are going to get tired here. They still haven't touched this puck, and it's still a 6-on-5. And as soon as the Red Wings touch, they will go to the penalty kill. There's a chance now. Doughty moves this around as Danault is waiting in the high slot. It gets tipped in front, picked up by Arvidsson, and now in across to Philip Danault. Danault will collect. And now the Red Wings finally touch. 9:01 left to go in the first. We're going to get a commercial break, and the Red Wings will be heading to the box. We'll square away the penalty in a moment. Come right back.
I don't like how Los Angeles got in this game right away.
Yeah, it's one of those situations there, especially after the Red Wings score that goal. You don't want to see them score like 19 seconds later. That's usually not a recipe for success, but all too often there, Patrick, is something that we see quite a bit coming over the last few seasons. So I wanted to get this note for you and get your thoughts. Again, it doesn't have to be a a particularly long explanation if you don't feel comfortable with it at all. But with the 6 or 7 additions that Steve Eisman has made there for the new coach, Derek Lalonde, do you feel like Steve Eisman is trying to get a team to get into the playoffs, but then also making sure that his head coach has some weapons for the first-year coach?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's a higher plan.
That's what Darren McCarty wants to say. It's the Iser plan. That's what he wants to do. I still think between both of us, as it's a 1-1 game right now in commercial break, that there's some rebuilding left to do. It's Eiserman's 4th year. We'll make no mistake about it. But I do think in his 4th year now, he's cleaned up some of the cap constituents there from Ken Holland as he's went to Edmonton. And it's time to put a reasonably decent team on the ice. And I think that is a good call by you, and I think that is a good call by Steve Eisman. That's what we want to see here, because like you said, it's been so long since the team's actually been relevant for any of our pro sports teams.
Yeah, really, the last relevant was probably the 2007-8 Pistons. No, the 2007-8 Red Wings that won the Stanley Cup.
Yes.
You could argue that the 2009 Red Wings that lost the Stanley Cup was the last relevant because they're relevant because they were in the Stanley Cup.
I don't disagree with that.
The Tigers of 2011 or 12.
Yeah, that just goes a long way of saying that it's certainly been a while for all of us here in Detroit. So Lucas Raymond is going to be going to the box. It was a hook against Mikey Anderson. So this will put the LA Kings on the first power play of the contest. They were 27th in the NHL last season, not particularly too great at 16%. But I think even below that was the Detroit Red Wings. They were in the 15% marker last season. So that's got to be better. But the Red Wings power play, yeah, that's wrong there on that stat. 73% penalty kill, not power play for the Red Wings. Whoever did that on Bally Sports Detroit. If we had a 73% power play, that would be unbelievable. So we're going to get a puck stoppage, and it's going to be held there by Ville Husso. $1:21 left to go in the LA Kings opening power play. You're getting a look at Andrew Kopp, the former man out of U of M. He was the captain there for Dylan Larkin in his freshman season, and now Kopp has joined the Red Wings on a 6-year deal, so we'll see what he does. Philip Danault keeps this alive on the backhand side as this is picked up by Alex Iafallo. Playing crisscross there with Adrian Kempe as Danault has it now. Same thing as they move between Kempe, but stolen there. And here's a chance for Michael Rasmussen. He's going to try to join in there with Oscar Sundqvist, but great play on the body to knock that off by the LA Kings. And again, when it's Rasmussen and Sundqvist and Elmer Soderblom, you can't really move those guys too much. So you just got to try to get in their way. Ben Sherratt and Suter can't find the puck as Sean Durzee's pass goes to nobody. Philip Danault has got a good, responsible 200-foot game, but he gets his pocket picked, and Pius Suter shoots it wide near the right side post. So the LA Kings power play has been a little quiet right now, but they still got 30 seconds to go left to right across the timeline. Then the home whites and the black pants. Arvidsson picks this up now as he plays crisscross with Dursey, and Iafallo tries to get it in deep of Ville Husso's cage. Centered out in front, but this is picked up by the Red Wings. And Adam Erning, he scored the first goal. It's a 2-on-1 again. Is he going to look the shoe? And Quick makes the save. He tried to go 2 for 2, and he tried to aim for that top left bar, but he just couldn't elevate the puck. As Dylan Larkin has it now, the Red Wings return to full strength as Lucas Raymond is back on the ice. 6:50 left to go in the first. We are tied at 1 with 6 shots apiece. Larkin tried to center it out in front there for Dominic Kubalik, but he fanned on the backhand. Rasmussen with a bomb and a point blast, and that one goes just wide. Dylan Larkin will try to retrieve this one off the backhand, trying to just get a few skate blades away there from Dursey. And now this is Soderblom, and they're with Hag. And now Larkin. Larkin tries to cut off the LA Kings near the right side faceoff dot as Robert Hag will pick this up. Larkin pass across. Big save there by Quick as Rasmussen still trying to do some work. 6:10 left to go in the first. The Red Wings have had this in there for about 45 seconds. Raymond, and off the backhand now, working his way through the high slot, and now the right faceoff dot. He leaves this here for Larkin. Wrist shot into the screen. Another opportunity, and that one is stopped as Kubalik had a piece of it, but Quick held on. Good pressure there by the Red Wings there, Patrick, and that was pretty extended. One of those situations where Jonathan Quick, again, he's been around for, I would say, 16, 17 seasons now. He's won a couple cups there with the LA Kings. They need to make sure, the LA Kings do, that they play a hell of a lot better around this guy because, again, his save percentage is in the low 900s, but that's only because he's facing so much vulcanized rubber every single time they play in their contests. So you can't always do that. You got to be better defensively. You can ask Alex Nedeljkovic that last year. As we're back underway with the puck drop, 5:55 left to go in the first. As Hronek will get this one now with Olli Maatta, and Olli Maatta and Hronek will play around the net of Husso as this is picked up by the second line and Andrew Kopp. David Perron will join in if he can try to get open near the right side, but Kopp was just stick lifted off the puck. Philip Zadina gets a loose there for Kopp, and it's picked up there by Quick and held as some pushing and shoving is in front of David Perron, and also a stick in the face of Zadina. But we get a stoppage here with a tie game at 1-1 and 5:33 left in the first. So I appreciate anyone following along on the YouTube side. I see there's quite a few of you. As always, let me know what you guys want to see and talk about. We can go around the league. We can get you some baseball scores and everything else when you get in the intermission. I can also take my time here and get in some notes to type in here for the game story that's going to follow, hopelesssportsguide.wordpress.com. So a couple goals.
You got any followers on that?
What's that?
You get any followers on your blog?
You know what? I do have some, man. Probably, I don't know, like 80 or 90. I started it around January, but I think some of that stuff, if we're being honest with each other, is also probably spam accounts. if I'm just being a little kind to myself, but here and there, because it's always Detroit coverage, and then any of the games that I do here on Colorcast, I always have the recorder in front of me that I bought when I was working at the Oakland Press. So I use that for the game story and just put it on Spotify. It goes all right, but it's one of those situations where, you know how it is. It takes a long time to be able to build a following. I probably got a little bit later start. Again, I just didn't start using the app until like January of last year, or January of this year, I should say. And it takes time. So it's, even though it's probably spending about 40 hours or so, you got to love what you do. So that's how I have to leave it at that. Two shorthanded goals for Sam Lafferty as they beat the San Jose Sharks 5-2. And San Jose is probably going to be one of those teams that's going to be at the bottom of the standings, unfortunately for them. And I would think, as an organization, they're not used to that because when we were in the Western Conference a lot there, Patrick, I know it's only been a few years here for the Red Wings to go from West back to the East now. San Jose was always one of those teams that we would play against in the playoffs that were kind of a pain in the ass to play against. So 5:31. I think they're going to add a couple seconds here. 5:33 left to go in the first. John here with you on the play-by-play call. I'm joining with Patrick Rush. The next Red Wings contest is going to be Friday at 8:30, but I think I'm going to be covering a NLCS Game 3 at that point. So good actually to see some Red Wings game and get some coverage here for the local team here for once, as this is picked up now by the Los Angeles Kings. It's a 3-on-3, and that was a great design setup play as Kopitar, Doughty, and Kempe. It was Kopitar right to Kempe. It was in the top left corner, and nothing Ville Husso could do about that. And honestly, Kopitar made a great offhanded play just to brush it ahead. And I think it was Fiala that will get the secondary assist. So it'll be Kopitar, Fiala, and Adrian Kempe. That was a gorgeous design, a perfect wrist shot. Nothing Ville Husso could do. 2-1 Kings. Really isn't much to say on that shot, Patrick, other than surgical. It's 4 games, 4 goals, and an assist for Adrian Kempe. and he's pretty damn good. The LA Kings have a really good young team, possibly even younger than the Red Wings in a lot of aspects, that are trying to pick up in this early part of the early part of the season, I should say. It's Kempe score from Fiala and Kopitar at 14:40. So as we go back and look, we get some highlights of that goal again. 5:08 left to go in the first. The Red Wings have a 9-7 shot advantage on the shot board, Chiron, but they're trailing 2-1. So this is going to be a defensive zone draw here for Dylan Larkin, being opposed by the Los Angeles Kings and Trevor Moore. As Trevor Moore lost it, but they can get this one down and across the blue line right now. Ole Mata has it. He lost it there momentarily there with Arvidsson. Almost took a stick up to the face. That could have been Philip Danault as well. Mata still able to play this right to left across the timeline as the play is still live as this goes in between Dominic Kubalik. Mata will join in with Larkin near the right side faceoff dot. Kubalik's going to need some help to pry this puck out. Ole Mata is trying to do so against his former team as Sean Walker is able to find it there. Picked up by the Red Wings, but they lost it near the right faceoff dot. And now the LA Kings can break out right to left across your radio dial. Victor Arvidsson doing some work in behind the cage, trying to get a backhand loose, but Ole Mata and Hronek were there to close it off and help out Husso. 4:10 left to go in the first period. Picked up now by Matt Roy. Kubalik trying to get a bomb pass across, but that was heavily contested. Picked up there by Gabe Villiardi. And now the Kings will be able to spin this one around the kick plate as Mata tries to still do some work there, but he can't really get to it. Alex Iafallo making life difficult near the right faceoff dot as the LA Kings now able to get a long outlet pass. And then Matt Roy tried to center it out in front of Husso, banking off the back pad, but that was a good save there, and that was an auspicious puck that could have gone across the line if it wasn't for Husso reaching out and looking behind him. 3:46 left to go in the first.
Who do you think the top three goaltenders are in the league?
Top three goaltenders? So I will say this here, Patrick. The one I think is far and away now is one of the teams that you followed during the playoffs, Igor Shesterkin. I think he's going to be the number one there and going forward here as he is right now for the New York Rangers. I have Andrei Vasilevsky at number 2 for the Tampa Bay Lightning. And then number 3, that's a tough question right now as far as who could be number 3. But I think the Dallas Stars, and I'm not saying that he is right now, but the Dallas Stars are certainly hoping that Jake Ottinger can be that guy. He's still about 21, 22 years of age. He's shown the potential and he's shown the flashes. So I'll go with Shesterkin, Vasilevsky, and Ottinger, and people will probably crucify me for number 3. Even if Cooper Hopkins was in here, he might say Jacob Markstrom on his Calgary Flames team. So back underneath the action right now, the Red Wings just trying to get this out. They've just conceded a goal as Adrian Kempe has just scored the latest one to make it 2-1 Kings. Again, Patrick and I are kind of watching this game as far as 3 games in 4 nights. We see how the Red Wings respond in a primetime game early in the season against a good squad and see what they're made of right now. So Kopp plays this to Zadina near an open right faceoff dot. Picked up by Ben Sherratt to the screen. And I think that might have been blocked before it ever hit Jonathan Quick, as there was traffic in front of the net as Quick couldn't even get back in. So David Perron, slap shot, blocked off there by Quick, but it's still live near the right side red line. Andrew Kopp doing some yeoman's work as David Perron will collect. He's going to leave it here for Ben Sherratt, play Chris Cross, and now this one goes just high and out of play with 2:30 left to go in the first. Shots are now at 10 apiece, but the LA Kings have a 2-1 lead. So any early season surprises here for you? I know you kind of follow along sports a little bit everywhere, Patrick, but early season surprises or maybe week 6 surprises of the NFL season?
Week 6 surprises of the NFL season. But the Eagles are 6-0, so you're pretty weeks best record. It's really hard to do.
Yeah, I would definitely say with Jalen Hurts, I didn't expect all that stuff to work out so soon there for the Eagles, so I'll give you that one. Um, I was happy that you didn't have to broadcast the Lions game on Sunday with the bye week. So
Yeah.
I wonder
I'm doing this upcoming one against
the Cowboys.
Dallas.
How do you think that one is going to go? You think they're going to end up getting a win? They're going to need to get a big bounce back because that was just an ugly game of against the Patriots getting bageled. But as we close out this first period, we got about a minute 45. I'll let you know of any other action. I'll get your thoughts here, Patrick. What do you think of Dan Campbell so far?
He has watched the show on Play Gone.
That's what I'm thinking as well, my friend. I don't think you could say that any better. Ben Sherrod with more Cider now. Cider expertly able to keep this in. We'll see if the Red Wings can do anything with it. Dominic Kubalik near the left side red line. As Larkin is the lone Red Wing there toward the left side red line now, trying to pick this up. Larkin in behind the cage are quick, but he can't get to it. It's some good expert stick lifting there by the LA Kings. And Matt Roy trying to knock that one aside. Picked up now by Quentin Byfield as Walker headed now and bounced out of play. So we got about just a minute left of this first period. John, I'm here with you with Patrick Rush. It's a 2-1 lead for the LA Kings right now, early, 10 shots apiece. So right now, Adam Ernie at the 426 mark from Pew Sitter and Oli Mata, and the next two were the Kings. 19 seconds later, Gabe Viliardi from Alex Iafallo and Drew Doughty, and then Adrian Kempe from Kopitar and Kevin Fiala. So again, all the big boys are doing damage right now for the LA Kings, and that's really not been their problem. It's been their defense and goaltending that have to pick it up and do a lot better job around Jonathan Quick. Again, he's like 36 years of age now. Can't keep doing it at a high level forever, but he's still a really damn good goaltender with 2 cup rings under his name. So picked up by the LA Kings in the neutral zone. Matt Roy, nice pass across off the backhand and hold. It's traffic in front of Ville Huso, and the Red Wings able to clear this one down to the red line. Kempe will reset as he salvages this one in across the kick plate, picked up now by Ville Huso. Almost intercepted as the Red Wings have to go back and touch up in their own end. Robert Haig will fake a slap shot around the boards to be able to buy some time as the Red Wings can look to try to break out here maybe one more time with 18 seconds left to go in the first. Zadina, a couple active stick checks there as he sent a friendly 3-year bridge deal, but it's a 3-on-2 developing there. Good save as Brandon Lemieux got a piece of all that shot. Now Grunstrom making some throws in front of Philip Hronik, in front of Ville Huso, and we'll see what comes of that if the Zebras are going to call anything here. With just about 10 seconds left to go in the first. That's a little bit of our first extracurricular that we've seen as the first period is getting set to close. And that was just
Jared Goff on my fantasy team.
You have Jared Goff?
I would go with Stafford Goff.
So you were feeling pretty good there with Jared Goff, I would imagine, for the first few weeks. He was doing pretty good there, and Stafford, I think, is. Go ahead.
Look at the Lions' offense for the first few weeks.
Yeah, that was really rolling was the offense, and then the defense was the stuff that couldn't save them. Brandon Lemieux looks to be going in the box here for the LA Kings. I did not see if there was another Red Wing going in the box. There's not, so the Red Wings will have carryover power play time if they don't score with about 10 seconds left to go. So Larkin can't win the offensive zone draw. This is going to bounce back near the right dot, and that's going to end the first period. So the LA Kings have a 2-1 lead after one, and when we come back, we'll call the second period of action in a moment. So, no, the offense has been pretty good throughout most of the year, with the exception of that last game. And as you said, Stafford was kind of nursing a little bit of a hand injury. Again, you don't have the same kind of line around them. I think they're probably missing Andrew Whitworth. They're missing Val Miller to be able to create some pressure. And the Rams haven't looked like the Rams, but I don't think all of us expected them to. I don't believe.
I need to have my wide receiver. Oh wait, what did I play? I need to have my wide receiver go crazy and super popular. Joshua.
Yeah. It sucks when you're waiting for like a Monday game and you can't, already win the week or whatever. I know how that goes. I only played a couple times. I'm not really into all of the other stuff, although I do appreciate it and I'm aware of it. I'd like to get into it. It'd just be nice to be able to play with an actual group of people that are consistent. That's the thing that I'm trying to find. I'm just getting some goals typed in here for the YouTube side, and then we can do a little bit of a recap here as far as what was scored as I get some of these notes down.
Seems like a lot of our Discover battery power made by steel. Our everyday homeowner system starts at just $199 a year. Real steel. Find yours in over 10,000 local steel dealers.
All right, so got some goal notes in here and got the score all set up. So for the story that's going to follow and the play-by-play and all that, just get everything squared away for our YouTube people that are just coming in here. So let's just go over it real quick. So it was Adam Ernie from Puser and Olimata at 426. It was a good developing play as Olimata able to get it out of the zone. Adam Ernie was racing down an open left wing. He was able to look off Puser and then instead just fired an absolute howitzer near the top left bar, then went bar down all the way across as they gave the Red Wings a quick 1-0 lead with 4:26 in the first. But unfortunately, right pretty much off the puck drop at 4:45, it was Gabe Valiardi from Alex Iafallo and Drew Doughty. It was just beating them straight down the ice for the LA Kings going straight down the ice and scoring a quick shot on Husso, and they just weren't really ready for it. And then the 14:40 mark, the latest goal that we just saw, that was a gorgeous one there. It was a good developing 3-on-2. It was Anze Kopitar with a sick little touch pass there between Fiala and Kempe to allow them to all stay on side, and Kempe was just sitting wide open in the slot to be able to shoot a wrister on Husso. He had no chance to make the save. And that's where we are right now, a 2-1 lead for the LA Kings over the Red Wings right now after one. So I appreciate anyone that's been following along on that side, and we will get more action here for you. I appreciate it, Big D Show. How you doing, buddy? We're going to get you more as we get to the start of the second period, probably about another 10 minutes or so. So the one thing, again, that we can relay, and I think this is going to matter a lot, turn this back up here, is Tyler Bertuzzi is going to miss some extended time here for the Red Wings. So a couple big injury notes across the start of the year. It was Tyler Bertuzzi with the 4 to 6 weeks in the game I did just almost last week. As Patrick Laine of the Columbus Blue Jackets going to miss about 5 weeks with a hyperextended elbow. They said upper body injury for Tyler Bertuzzi, but he hurt his arm blocking a shot in the second period of the Saturday game against the Devils. Kind of looked about the same, although they really don't designate what type of injuries there are, because just in case, if you're playing against the opposition, you don't really want to tip off any whistles there as far as what you can attack. So Verana will be ready to go on the Friday game, but he's missing this one for personal reasons. But that would leave right now Bertuzzi, Verana, Robbie Fabry, Mark Pysyk, and Jake Wallman all out for the Red Wings, who you would figure at some point throughout the season, especially Wallman. He's really good on defense. He got some really good skating ability that they're going to factor in. And Wallman also as well, he is on a one-year deal. So the Red Wings have a lot of expiring contracts. So Patrick, are you still around?
Yeah.
All right. So here's a question here for you as we're in our intermission. I won't make this one too difficult, but let me throw this out there. Expiring contracts. So free agents at the end of the year. Dylan Larkin, Bertuzzi, Suter, Sundqvist, Adam Ernie, Oli Mata, Jordan Osterley, Jake Wallman, Mark Pysyk, Alex Nedeljkovic, and Robert Haig. Is Dylan Larkin getting the long-term extension?
Yeah.
And is Tyler Bertuzzi also getting an extension, in your opinion?
Yeah.
So you don't think there's any way, because I agree with you on the Larkin side, but you don't think there's any way that maybe Tyler Bertuzzi or Jacob Verana might be packaged in with a deal?
You think Bertuzzi gets an extension? He is like injury prone, but he's so good. I don't know. Did you hear that?
Yeah, no, I did hear that. I'm sure it pissed a lot of Red Wings fans off, but at least this year he's going to be able to play in Canada. From what I heard and everything was told, once he comes back, he will be able to play. But that did leave you in a situation last year like Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, and then you have the western side of Calgary, Vancouver, just teams that he cannot play against. So, okay, so
maybe not Bertuzzi.
That is what I'm wondering as well there, Patrick, is whether or not Bertuzzi is going to be able to be extended. Because I do think Eisman's made a lot of good moves throughout the year. And not just with the Red Wings. You got to remember, he built Tampa. And I think he's got a lot of pull, and this isn't me saying it this year, but I think maybe next year in the 2023-2024 season, Eisman might make a really big move, and I think a superstar might be coming to Detroit. That's just my guess. That's what I kind of alluded to last week when we did the season preview show. I think Eisman's going to make a big move there. I think Bertuzzi and Verana might be the guys who will make the move with. But it will be interesting too, not only with Bertuzzi, the one other one I'm thinking of is Alex Nedeljkovic, who's not playing right now, unless Husso gives up a few more, maybe Derek Lalonde makes the pull. But Nedeljkovic, he had a rough year last year, but the defense, let's face it, wasn't very good. He's a free agent. And you got Sebastian Kosa coming up next year. And he's supposed to be built like Ben Bishop and Andre Vasilevsky, meaning he's tall, he's athletic, and he can cover all sides of the net. So Red Wings got a lot of good young players upcoming, and they're probably, to me, 2 seasons away from making legitimate playoff noise. Maybe they get in this year, but I do think a Stanley Cup is in their near future, and it's not going to be too long.
Oh yeah, speaking since we're both Michiganders,
Mm-hmm.
today's Eminem's birthday.
So how old is Eminem now? Did they say he was 50?
50.
Jesus, man, time flies.
Think he's 50.
Because I think, other than, because I know this isn't the same thing, but I'll interject the two. I think the two albums that I remember the most in high school, 'cause I graduated in 2005, so I'm older, like I said. But the two albums in high school were like Eminem's. What the hell? What the hell was that one? The Marshall Mathers LP, the red one, it has like "Say Goodbye to Hollywood" and "Cleaning Up My Closet" and all that. I forgot what that one's called. Yeah. So that album was like real hot, and then the Blink-182 "Take Off Your Pants and Jacket." those are like the two main ones. I know Blink-182 is getting another reunion tour with Tom DeLonge, because apparently he's done it looking at UFOs, and he wants to be able to make some more money. But yeah, those are the two things that made me think of, because now Eminem is 50, and I just can't believe that.
Yeah, it's hard to believe.
I seen the picture that they had on social media with him in like a Lions hoodie or whatever, and he still looks pretty good, no doubt about it. You got to take care of yourself, especially when you're getting older and all that. I'm sure he went through all that other crap, and he's good now.
Eminem is 50 years old. The same age as the starter. So holler at your boy, hey, AJ. Both with the Michigan State around the same time.
Yeah, so that I want to make sure that was the Eminem show. That was 2002. So then I would have been a sophomore in high school, like at that point, because I know the Slim Shady LP came out when I was like in middle school. So that was like, I'm never gonna say any blasphemous things and say Eminem's not like one of the all time, because he is. But like the first three albums between the Slim Shady LP, Marshall Mathers LP, and Eminem show, probably preeminent fucking Eminem. And whether or not that's probably when he was on all the drugs and stuff again, happy to be able to get clean and do all that stuff. But I mean, those were probably his best works. But it's funny when you talk about all these other artists, doesn't matter what other genre of music it is. I think they make their best work sometimes when it's like through pain and drugs and things like that and life experiences. It's funny the way that it goes like that.
Yeah, I mean, but also too, they can make some of your best works without having to go through that shit.
Yeah, and I think if you could do that without having to go through all of that, I think you are a super, not, I mean, he already is talented as hell, but you are crazy talented if you can do all that. Or you have incredible writers. And you just have you have all the talent to be able to make the music. So that's the best thing you can do.
We gotta get rid of that narrative that pain is the only thing that makes great art. So does joy.
Yeah, I'd like to get rid of that narrative too, Patrick. I think that's very well said.
So I don't want artists to feel like they should be in pain to make great art all the time. There can be joy and happiness,
I
state
think
of enthusiasm, and also make great art.
I think that's very well said. And I don't honestly, Patrick, I don't think that's said enough, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to. I know everybody experiences things in life, and life's not fair. But if you're not making or doing whatever you're doing, fulfilling your hobby in a good place, I think that that's definitely a mistake. As hard as it is to make money and find happiness and do all these other things in the world, it's best when you can do it when it's enjoyed. No doubt about it.
Right.
So, how many color casts are you up to now, Patrick? I know you've already done the 500 like several months ago.
I'm at 580.
Holy cow! So, when did you get your start here on this app, and how did you know about it? Were you guys one of the first ones to do it? Because I imagine with that many, you were like one of the OGs here.
Yeah, I'm one of what the co-founder calls me OG, even though I don't have any designation on the Discord for some reason. So I found out about it through LinkedIn
Mm-hmm.
and applied for a NFL caster job, but really the NBA one. I
Yeah.
never made it to be a featured caster, but I grew a large fan base here that maintained even through some of the different iterations of people who came and went through this app.
Right.
I managed to stay relevant. And I came about really, first debut was here, to make a buck here or there. But really, what made me stick around is for friends, really, and it kicked up to people like you and other people, just the chill people.
See, the one thing I will say, Patrick, and I'm not blowing smoke or anything else like that. I know I haven't been here all that long, but you've always been at the forefront around like you, Lily, Zach, and uh, David and Cap and all those guys, that, especially you. But I've always been around there to always try to check in and see what I'm doing and like talk back and forth. And I humbly appreciate all that stuff because for me, it's just an opportunity here. Again, I have cerebral palsy and all that stuff, but I went school for journalism and all that. Yeah, I know it's hard to maintain followings and do all those things like that, but I just wanted to get some work in and just show some passion, right? I mean, I started with like NBA play-by-play on my own and then kind of built it out. So I always appreciate that and the fact that you stuck by me and always try to see what I'm doing and check in, and it's been a lot of fun. So right now we will get back
Yeah,
into.
it has been a lot of fun, and better that you say that because look at nobody's going to get discovered in color cast. Nobody's going to get your next big brick color cast.
Mm-hmm.
But what a lot of people can't get from color cast is fun. And I'm glad that you've had fun from your experience.
Yeah, and I mean that's what it's all about. You have to put the work in and grind on your own. Just try to just talk to as many people as you can, and you build up some networks. That's probably one of the hardest things for me to do. And that's not always my best strength, but one of my better strengths is just putting the work in. And that's what you got to be able to do. So big time shot there that is stopped and held by Quick and the Red Wings.
I love the people. I love the people stuff. Sometimes I hate the hard work. I love the meet and greets and talking to people. The socializing. I love that.
That's always good. That's something that I have to do better with, to be honest with you. I think as I go along and talking more with you and everyone else in there and trying to jump into shows, that I think that part will get easier, and it's going to have to be more on me when I'm not just always constantly hammering down content. Tipped out in front. as Oscar Sundquist tried to obscure the vision of Quick as we get the overhead camera right now on the Belly Sports side. Don't know how much I like that one, but Larkin's got it now near the left dot. It couldn't be picked up there by Kubalik. And now this goes back and across the blue where the Red Wings have to check up. They're on their first power play of the contest. We're just underway here in the second period. About 50 seconds left to go on the power play. Sundquist couldn't find it, and Kubalik couldn't as well, as this goes all the way back down to Ville Husso. So Husso going to leave this here for Filip Hronek. Again, Hronek is one of those guys in his contract. Another 3 years here for Filip Hronek, so I think this is another proving ground for him. He's a good offensive defenseman, but you got to be able to bring in some more defensive help, especially when the Red Wings team is really looking for it. So Husso will go back and grab this again, and Moritz Seider will try to break out here right to left for the Red Wings and the All Reds. Again, Patrick and I will probably – I always prefer the home whites, but they went to the road home, and now it's red over the last few years. Seider, pass across. Kubalik lets it go. That one goes just wide as the Kings get the full strength. Well, falling right out of the box is Brandon Lemieux, and that's unfortunate for the Kings because he really could have had a breakaway there. But Moritz Seider will collect as he passes this in across the red line now. Zadina trying to lead this here for David Perron, but he lost it as Villiardi gets a pass across, and that one might have just hit the outside of the bar. Kings buzzing right now. Brandon Lemieux still on the ice right now with Philip Dano just coming out of the box. So the second and fourth line is mixed as there's a battle of sticks everywhere there. Oli Mata finds it into the screen, and Husso makes a good save into the traffic.
Hey, I can take my own brief intermission. I'll be back.
No problem, boss. So I'm going to be here with you until this game is done. HopelessSportsGuy.wordpress.com. I'm going to handle the play-by-play stuff, and then when Patrick comes back, we will get him back in this broadcast. So I appreciate anyone that's following along on the YouTube side, as always. John out here with you on the call. We're at LCA right now. It's a 2-1 lead for the LA Kings. This is an opportunity for me to call the home team here on some action. I want to see how they play on 3 and 4 nights in between the LA Kings because they're going to be off till Friday until they play the Blackhawks. So if I was being honest here with you, I would think that 3-1 would be a good start here for the Red Wings. I probably didn't expect them to win this game tonight, but right now this is a 1-goal game, and they're in it, courtesy of Adam Ernie, who scored the first goal of the game. So Ernie's got it now near the right side red line. Picked up and now by the Kings as Dano will try to check this up. Adrian Kempe try to get a pass over there, and that got blocked ahead by a host of Red Wings defense as Husso and Kevin Fiala, Seider come together as well. Ben Schrott will pick this up for the wing wheel. He's now near the left side red line as he leaves it here for Seider. And as we go forward throughout the NHL season, it'll be one of those ones to wonder, how long is Ben Schrott going to be on the first line there with Seider? Kubalik with a blast. This one is fought off there by Jonathan Quick. Dumped down the ice in between the legs. Rasmussen couldn't locate it. This is going to give some time for Alex Iafallo and some reinforcements as Carl Grundstrom's trying to find this as well here for the Kings. Iafallo now waiting there with Quentin Byfield near the left side red line as he's trying to put some pressure on the wings. And this is dumped in. Villiardi as a stick check there from Robert Haig just knocks this one away from Husso here. Picked up now by the wings. Dylan Larkin racing down an open right wing, having to fight off Victor Arvidsson. Victor Arvidsson does not have a point so far on the season right now. He's a -2 in the first 3 games, which is hard to believe because he was one of Nashville's better players a couple seasons ago, and he was really good last year for the Kings. So Dylan Larkin, near the right dot, he tried to snipe a shot pass quick, and he put it right in the catching glove. 15:47 left to go in the second period. So kind of a bad bounce there in between Rasmussen's, let's say, through the wickets, according to Mickey Redmond there. And we try not to be too much of a homer here, but you would think in between the Mickey Redmond and Ken Daniels broadcasts, I won't be blasphemous, they were voted the top broadcasts in hockey for a reason. I think they do call it as it is, even though they want to have the Red Wings win this one. So Dano, in between a 1-on-3, is going to leave this here for Adrian Kempe. Kempe had to block the side as Dano tries to get fought off there by Michael Rasmussen. Mata trying to find it as this goes back near the blue line there for Dursey. He crisscrossed there for Arvidsson. The wrist shot gets blocked down in front near the left side red line as Rasmussen still trying to work over his man. Picked up now by Oscar Sundquist. Again, the Red Wings are without Tyler Bertuzzi in today's contest. So we'll see how long that's going to be for. Right now it's 4 to 6 weeks. Fortunate bounce for Soderblom. He took his man for a ride, or maybe he got taken for a ride all the way to the boards. It was Sean Durzi. A little bit of a sledding action all the way down the ice. As it tried to get gloved ahead, Soderblom bounces it to himself, goes down the ice, and couldn't get a hold of it as Durzi was holding it the whole way. So that was some good skilled work by the 6'8" giant Elmer Soderblom. How good do you have to be to bounce that to yourself in midair and almost make a chance out of it? My goodness, what a move. And we're going to get an offensive zone stoppage here. Maybe one of those ones, Corey, how are you doing, boss? One of those ones where it's going to be an offensive zone draw and maybe some oohs and ahs. It will put the Red Wings on the power play, but I'm curious to see who this one is going to be on as we will look on the ESPN Box Score side. This one is going to be Sean Durzi. So he did get the penalty there. And I don't think Durzi could do much more. I mean, he tried to hook Soderblom as much as he could, and he was just too big and too skilled that he had to take him for a ride and then go into the box. So that's going to put the Red Wings on the second power play. The LA Kings have just one. So one now by the Wings in their own end near the left face-off dot. Larkin, great pass, Kubalik! Oh, and it's robbed by Quick. He slid all the way across the right post, and Kubalik could do nothing but look skyward. What a stop by the former Vezina goaltender. Larkin with a beautiful feed and behind the cage. That bounced up a little bit too high. Quick lifted the leg. If he would have shot that one 5-hole, that would have been 2-2, but he was trying to go for the top right corner, and that's what Quick was going for on that save, to get that pad and that leg in there. What a stop by Quick, as the Red Wings could have tied this. Still a minute 50 left to go in the power play and 14:56 left to go in the second period. Moronic will play this now for Andrew Kopp near the left side face-off dot. Try to get a pass there to Kubalik near an open right dot. Kubalik lost it, picked up there by Sundquist. Now here's a chance. David Perron. Try to see if he can add to this power play line. Touch pass. Kubalik can't find it in between his skates, and that's a little unfortunate there for the wing wheel side. And Ville Husso will go back and touch this one up as Philip Peronic trying to go side to side here on the Red Wings radio dial. Left to right. Knocked away again. Peronic can't find it. And again, great work there by Philip Dano. Could be a short-handed chance, and that one went just wide of the left post. Sundquist going to try to get the Red Wings controlled breakout now. The last two entries were now clean. Sundquist now to Perron. Set it on for Larkin. He fanned on it. And now this is Perron as this goes near the high slot. Sider holding, trying to find some space there with Dominic Kubalik. This goes back to David Perron. Set it on front, touch pass. A little bit wide for Kubalik near the right face-off dot. Kubalik's got it now. Gives it back to Sider with a bomb, and that goes just wide as Kubalik tries to race off near the right face-off dot, and it's cleared down the ice. Bruins, I see in the Packcast, but this is one of those situations we are doing Kings and Red Wings, but I will keep check, Packcast, on the side of it of the Bruins score when we get a stoppage. Slap shot there by Raymond, completely fanned on, and that's probably going to kill all the time there for the Red Wings as it does. And let's try to get your scoreboard here as I'll follow along here. Red Wings, as it returns back to full strength, it is 1-1 between the Panthers and Bruins. If you wanted to get that update there, Packcast, I appreciate the comment anyway. So Kings have this now. Kevin Fiala from the Minnesota Wild. These are for Kopitar right in the breadbasket of Ville Husso as the shot gets stopped and held. No doubt about that, man. I just appreciate you in here, leaving some comments. All good, brother. So we get a stoppage, 12:50 left to go in the second period. Red Wings were buzzing on that power play, but they did not score. We'll be right back. So I guess Pat and Corey, I'll throw this out there too. I got to be happy that the Detroit Lions were on a bye week after getting lambasted and bageled by the New England Patriots. So thank God for the bye week. Let's stay on that side. 6 on YouTube. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. Following along, this has been a good game so far. The Red Wings were just on their second power play of the contest. Some great saves there by Jonathan Quick to keep this at 2-1. So I think it was good, especially for you guys going into it with the Cleveland Browns. Again, last year they absolutely killed Patriots killed Browns. So I took them this week at the points against the spread, and that worked out pretty well. Ramondre Stevenson looks pretty good too on that side. So kind of like that effort there from the Patriots over the last couple games. And despite rebuilding or not, it's still the Patriots and Bailey Zappi. I think you got to be happy with that. He's been pretty good. But obviously, you're talking with a guy that doesn't know too much about the football side. I'm more of the NBA, NHL, MLB myself, so I'll try not to talk out of my ass too much. But you got to be happy with what you're seeing over the last couple weeks. And who are you rooting for, Corey, on that side? For football or any other sport? Or what games do you have coming up? So Trevor Thompson talking with Bob Bugner. Again, he was the former Red Wings player, about 10 seasons. I don't know if they were all of the Red Wings, but he was also with the San Jose Sharks and all of that stuff as well. We're going to be getting to our official action in a moment when I'll return the recorder back on. I appreciate anyone that's followed along on the YouTube side, anyone that's followed along for the Colorcast side as we get a side-by-side. I don't know if I like those too much.
This is something that's important. I'm not telling you who you should vote for, but make sure if you have a midterm election coming up, you vote. I'm not telling you who you should vote for, of course, but make sure you express your civic duty and you vote on election day. It should be coming up in November for your respective state if you have one. Make sure you vote. It's your civic duty. Very important.
There's going to be no complaints from me on that side, even for all of that. So we're back underneath the action right now. Raymond tries to find Zadina, as this is picked up now by the LA Kings and then lost there by Brent Clark, the 19-year-old. This goes all the way down to Jonathan Quick. He makes the save. 12:05 left to go in the second stanza. John, on here with you. I'm going to be joined by Patrick Rush as he's going in and out. We're just partaking in this Red Wings game here. Usually I end up doing the play-by-play, a lot of the stuff for the Colorcast side. Got a few assignments coming up this week. I will be back with you on Wednesday. We're doing a basketball assignment, the NBA opener between the Pelicans and Nets. So stick around for that one. Tuesday is going to be a much-needed off day with the misses, because otherwise I will start getting yelled at. So Sunquist tries to find this now here for the Wings, as this is loose out in front, picked up there momentarily by Robert Haig. And this is spun around the kick play where Drew Doughty can collect. And again, I said this in the opener last week, Tuesday. It's good just to see Drew Doughty on the ice, even though that was a win for the Golden Knights. We'll see what ends up happening on Saturday, what assignment I'll take for that one. That could be a late night hockey game with Cooper Hopkins, or that could be Avalanche and Golden Knights on that Saturday night. So we'll see. So 11:20 left to go in our contest. It's a 2-1 lead for the LA Kings. They got it in behind the cage, blocked nicely there by the Red Wings. Trying to make something happen here tonight without Tyler Bertuzzi for 4 to 6 weeks and no Jacob Verano for personal reasons. So it's 3 games and 4 nights for the Red Wings, and we'll see what they do with it. They got it in the offensive zone right now, as Larkin lost it, picked up now by Doughty as he crisscrosses with Mikey Anderson in behind the cage of Jonathan Quick. Philip Hronik, this will fall back. Larkin will pick this up. This could be a 2-on-3. Kubalik can't corral it. Tried to center a cross pass, and they score! Red Wings David Perron with an absolute bullet ties the game at 2. That is what you got David Perron here for, Patrick Rush, to score some goals on a much-needed secondary and third line, and that was just a great feed. It got knocked away the first time for Kubalik. Perron all alone near the right face-off dot. He makes no mistake about it. Ties the game at 2. Nothing Jonathan Quick could do on that one.
Try to explain to our audience
how serious hockey is. Well.
Yeah.
So let's see. Hold on one second. A stick was knocked out of the hand. We'll see if there's a call. So I'll explain it to you. So not only just being called Hockey Town and having Al the Octopus as the mascot, if you will, to simplify the 8 cups at the time and then more as it goes along. It's very important. And you know what, Patrick? It kind of pissed me off over the last 10 years or so when the Chicago Blackhawks were winning consistently and saying, well, we're Hockey Town now. I hate that. I want the Red Wings to be able to rebuild, and Eisman through his 4th year to be able to come in and start doing some damage like he did with Tampa. He helped them win a cup. I think he's going to do so for the Red Wings, and I think the Red Wings over probably the next couple of seasons, they're going to start turning into a team that other teams just don't want to play anymore like it used to be. It's very important. It's our saving grace and our winningest franchise.
Yeah, it is our biggest franchise. So it's true, and it's very interesting. Out of a team that has, out of a city that has all 4 major
Yes.
North American sports teams, that our NHL team happens to be our biggest one. It's our NHL one that has the most success, the most championships, the most prestige. And it's something that it's important for people from New England to understand. No, it's not our baseball or football team; it's our hockey team. Or from people from New York to understand that.
Yes.
Hockey brings a premium. It's the most important thing. It's our cash cow. It's our crown jewel.
And just like you said with New York, I would even talk about that. They have a lot of franchises too. They got all the major pro sports teams, but it's the original 6 franchise with the Rangers. It's an original 6 franchise here for the Red Wings. There's a lot of proud history. And even at the times, again, we pointed out here tonight, Patrick, there could be some empty seats, and I think that's a little bit disappointing. But I do think, just like anything else, once the teams start to win, how we saw with the Pistons and the Palace, once these teams start to win, LCA is going to be sold out immensely. I guarantee it.
Yeah, the Pistons are far away.
They are, and they have some hope there with Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey, and it's unfortunate that Marvin Bagley is going to miss some extended time to start the year. But the Red Wings probably are, like you said. He had the knee issues too, and maybe some other issues. I wasn't aware of any of the other ones, if there is.
No, with Marvin Bagley, he's okay, but we gave Bagley the proverbial day, and it was just we overpaid. We needed to spend cap on somebody to spend cap to use.
So here's the thing for me: when they say the term bag, I would normally think of, as we're still underway the action, we'll let you know what's going on in a moment. When I think of that term, you normally think about guys that are getting about $100 million, but Marvin Bagley was at $3 and 46 or something like that, and that's the going rate nowadays. So he's getting pretty much what he's supposed to be paid. So I hope that Pistons fans don't look at it and say oh, that's way too much. Because honestly, if he went somewhere else, he could have got more money, honestly, for what he's done, being a number 2 pick just behind Luka Doncic a few years ago. He could have got more. Yes, he's got to show more, but I don't think that's something, especially with the cap going up and up and up, that the Pistons are going to spend too much time worrying about with the young team. If it's me, I'm more worried about the development of Isaiah Stewart. That's just my opinion, because I want to see a little bit more on the offensive game. If you're going to be 6'8" and maybe 6'7" like Ben Wallace was, you have to bring something. If you're not bringing something, you're probably on your way out.
Well, not Ben Wallace was, because that's how basketball's done.
So we're back under the action right now. 7:27 left to go in the second. It is a 2-2 tie. David Perron has got the latest goal here for the Red Wings. Michael Rasmussen in on the draw. It's an offensive zone draw. That Sundquist, nice help Bill to win that one. And a bomb from Philip Hronek goes just wide. Might have went off the pad of Quick as well. Sundquist trying to check this in deep with Rasmussen. Rasmussen's got it now. He's with the Soderblom line, the 6'8" guy out there just drawing some penalties. Soderblom's been pretty good right now. He's got it. Tries to backhand, keep it alive. Play it in front of Quick. And the Red Wings can't hold across that blue line now as we hit the 6:55 marker of the second period. Quick will just touch this one with the goal stick and hold. 6:52 left to go in the second. We got a commercial break. Come right back. Whoa. So good contest so far between the two teams. David Perron has got the only marker of the second period. Tied the game at 2. He's got a second of the season from Dominic Kubalik and Oli Mata at the 9:15 mark of the second period, and that's where we are right now. Again, thank you to everybody following along on the YouTube side. And thank you to everybody following along on the Colorcast side. We still got Pat Cass and Corey Lee with us. We appreciate it, boys.
Speaking of Pat Cass and time on the hot seat, talk about this Bruins, because they're a divisional foe, are they not?
We can throw them in here.
Yeah, don't we have them in our division?
Yeah.
The Bruins? Yeah. So, Pat Cass?
First of all, no, you're not.
Well, we're both in the Atlantic.
Okay, but you're not
In the East.
rival by any stretch of the imagination, my friend. That is reserved for any team in Pittsburgh or Philadelphia. You don't even know the candle.
You have no room to talk when it comes to hockey.
No, candle.
No room. We are the Steelers or the Patriots of the American Hockey League. So, don't give us this shit. So, don't even watch your
You're not a
throne.
rival, though.
We're never playing any rivals. We're just in the same division. What do you think about, your new coach? What do you think about future trajectory of your franchise? What are some things that you're worried about and things that you're hopeful about?
I'm worried this team is going to be the same team they were last year in the playoffs and out. I was really happy they brought back some of the veterans, but you kind of do that only to put buttons in the seats, get fans in the stadium because, everyone's loves these guys for what they've done for the franchise. But on the other side of the coin, they make the team better, but they're only going to be there for 1 year. So what's the team look like after that? You got a new head coach who's trying to revamp this franchise from a head coach who should not have been fired. Let me be very clear that he did not deserve to lose his job. That was a scapegoat move. Just to save their own skins for a lack of playoff success over the past decade. And I think this team can go to the playoffs, but that's the ceiling. I don't see them going to the Stanley Cup Finals, which is a shame because I know that they compete like a championship caliber team every single year, but as soon as the playoffs come, they fold like a cheap tent. So until they can show me something that I haven't seen since 2011 or whenever they actually were relevant, and I say relevant, I say championship caliber relevant, then to me, they're just another hockey team out there with a big market, good, great fan base, loyal fan base against mediocre competition like Red Wings.
Mediocre competition in the Eastern Conference where it's a bloodbath?
No, well, I mean, I'm using the Red Wings as an example. You guys aren't the Flyers. You guys aren't Capitals or...
The Flyers are horrible. Right.
Okay, but they're still a better team than you guys.
The Philadelphia Flyers are better than the Detroit Red Wings right now.
They got a better chance of making the playoffs than Detroit does.
I should kick you off this broadcast right now. Are you nuts?
He's so lost in his, like,
you had over 100 points last season.
No.
Carolina was a good team, and you pushed them to 7 games.
Patrick dubs me the Mad Dog Russo color cast.
bullshit take.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because that was a bad take. It was not true, actually. Like, we are better than the Flyers. Actually, we are better than the Flyers. And then just back to the Flyers. I don't hate the Flyers.
Are you better than? I'm just trying to think of a really good example here. Like, I don't like.
I think you might even be better than you.
No, you're not better than me. I'm not.
We're better than the Bruins, maybe.
No, you're not. That's a pipe dream.
It's not a pipe dream. We're entitled. We're more of a title town when it comes to hockey than y'all. Historically.
Okay, then what was the last time you won a chip?
Oh wait, same time your Celtics won the chip.
All right, so we've won one more recently than you guys.
But
we've been there
but this is our Celtics. This is our story franchise. Oh, you guys think like I don't know which one you think is the most story one, but like.
No, listen, I hear you guys talking about Detroit, and there's no doubt you guys have the fan bases, and you guys have the loyal fans for.
No, this isn't the Lions talk. This is something we're good at. This is hockey.
No, I know. So I'm giving you credit where credit is due. That is who the Detroit Red Wings are. Now, I will say this, that you guys, what was your record last year? You know, you'll have to forgive me because I didn't wake up every day and say I wanted to watch Red Wings games.
Philip Danault has just put this in the net. It's now a 3-2 lead for the LA Kings. Husso tried to slide over to that left post. It's 3-2 now.
This is an offensive game. I'm going on, Pack.
You guys didn't even make the playoffs.
No, we're not going to make the playoffs. We haven't made the playoffs the last few years because they've been rebuilding because Ken Holland took a crap on this franchise and then left to Edmonton. So Eisman's been cleaning out the rest of the empty cupboards over 4 years in rebuilding. It takes time.
John didn't take him on.
John Henry's been doing that for gosh knows how long. Look how we turned down for the Red Sox.
Yeah, well, I mean, Dave Dombrowski did help for a time there too. So I understand because we went through it with the same general manager over there. Sometimes you don't win.
You blessed sons of guns getting Dave Dombrowski. Dave Dombrowski is a winner.
He was the man over here. We got the 2 World Series with him. No, we didn't win, but thank God he made our teams relevant.
Yeah, like, dude, he won one chip with the Sox.
Yes.
John, I was telling Patrick that here's an interesting tidbit about the Red Sox. I'm 22 years old, okay?
Yeah.
In my lifetime, the Red Sox have never lost a World Series.
Yeah, it's fun when you guys are kids compared to me because I'm 35. So it's nice. The only thing I was able to say during my time except for the last 3 years, was the Red Wings never missed the playoffs. It's nice to be able to say you never lost in the World Series. I would love that stat.
I loved it when the Red Wings never missed the playoffs. That was amazing. That was just like clockwork on man.
Spoiled.
By the time David Ortiz kicked your butt, good times.
David Ortiz kicked our butt once, but you guys never had David Ortiz with a triple crown. We have Miguel Cabrera with a triple crown.
Yeah, listen, let me tell you something right now. We may not have had that David Ortiz, but we had a champion David Ortiz and a leader and a role model for a franchise that desperately needed guys like him.
Just like a role model, good job.
I mean, hey, we got chips. Man's got chips. We got banners. He's retired. He's a Hall of Famer.
Everybody on that Red Wings team has more chips than that fucking Red Sox team. It's on other teams. It's like the Beatles when they broke up. How I feel like they got better.
No, when Julian Edelman finally left the Patriots, that was like the last Beatle to leave the Patriots. Like, you know, you had Brady, Gronk, Amendola, and then use against this.
So just to catch everybody up, we got 2:03 left to go in the second period. The LA Kings have just taken the lead 3-2. We'll close out the second period, then we'll get the third in a moment. So, Patcast, I appreciate it, buddy.
Great having Patcast on here because it's a third party.
I
think it's not great. It's not the city that he hates more than Los Angeles. He's going to lead up. But,
dude, I hate New York more than I hate LA.
That's interesting to me.
Just because of the Boston Yankees, all that kind of stuff, Boston, New York.
It's listen, Magic and Bird solidified, probably in a lot of people's minds who are older than I am, the LA Boston rivalry more than anything. That was like the one, when you think of that rivalry, that was probably the go-to back in those days.
What about Rams and Patriots?
I don't consider that really a rivalry, Patrick, because I
Red Sox.
I don't consider that a rivalry either. A rivalry sustains itself over a long period of time. I mean, we beat the Dodgers in the World Series once, we beat the Rams twice, and that's still not a rivalry. That's more like a increment of time where one team just dominated over the other. The Yankees and Sox have been rivals since almost the inception of baseball itself. That's a rivalry. You can't tell me that, like, you're rival with LA right now. Well, not really. I mean, like, at least if you ask me, like, rivalries in terms of different sports, I would say LA is not Boston's rival in football, and especially baseball. I would say that is not a rivalry at all. Maybe more basketball because there's still that thing with the Lakers because we've been better than the Knicks forever. So I don't know. It's like being a Bruins fan, and it's like people want to bring up like, oh, how much do you hate the Islanders and the Rangers? It's like, I mean, not as much as I hate the Flyers, as much as I hate the Penguins.
Yeah. Do you hate the 76ers?
Yeah, because it's a Philly team. They're that's also a semi-rivalry in a way. That's always been a Boston v Philly thing in a sports town, and obviously Boston's been better than them, minus that 1 year. But I'm talking about that.
Oh yeah, that's the story.
Well,
about all of it.
I see my hot seat time is running out. Thank you guys for having me on. I wasn't going to do the game tonight, Patrick, but quite frankly, I just changed my mind. I was like, it's just not going to be that good.
What is it? This is between Broncos and
Broncos Chargers.
You can still shout out parts of Massachusetts. Well, we got one anonymous listener. You can say honestly if you want.
Nah, it's all right. I'm not watching this game right now. You guys have it because you're your local channel. I don't have it up here.
All right. Well, if you want to just continue on as a listener, if you want the hot seat again, just do 3 seconds.
All right. I might be on and off, but keep up the good work, guys.
Appreciate it, Pat.
Right,
Take care.
I'm gonna give you a follow. There you go.
Good.
I know he's a very, very opinionated man. But that is.
This is tough now, but I don't like the Flyers suck. Better than Thanks. Should not be. I don't know.
So right now, we'll just keep everybody updated here. Kevin Fiala got sent to the box. It's a 4-on-4 with 49 seconds left to go. It was the latest goal, courtesy of Philip Dano from Trevor Moore and Sean Dursey. It makes a 3-2 lead for the Kings. So Ravens are still in this contest right now in 3 games of 4 nights, and that was kind of one of the ones, Patrick, we wanted to see what this team would do. So 4-on-4, probably going to eliminate this whole period. We'll see how oppressive these teams are going to be on offense here as Philip Dano's got it now. He's going to fight off Dominic Kubalik. We just try to center this around Ville Husso. Again, Ville Husso did not give up a goal against the Montreal Canadiens. He's given up 3 in this contest. We got about 15 seconds left to go in the second period. Larkin passes it over to Kubalik. Larkin now going to pick it up near the right side faceoff dot. Try to throw it back to Kubalik in between the legs as this goes back across the red line now. Now down to 3 seconds. It's going to end the second period as the LA Kings take a 3-2 lead into the dressing room. Very opinionated, called factual. I guess I will give you. I will laugh at that comment. I definitely agree with you on that on some of the stuff. The only thing I would say, because I know you didn't talk that much about your hockey team, you had some other things going on, Pat. I would throw out this. In that Eastern Conference, in the Metro especially, I mean, I understand Atlantic, but the Metro especially on that side, it's an absolute bloodbath. So to get over 100 points, that is something that you really want to build on. And it's really hard as hell to build on in the Eastern Conference. And even when you think about Washington or Boston, they're talking about maybe one of those teams does not make the postseason this year. David Krejci did not play. Well, he was overseas last year. He's had a pretty good start. And yes, Boston's a little banged up there with Brad Marchand's not going to be available and things like that. But I would take David Pastrnak any day of the week. Boston's still got some great players. You got Jeremy Swayman in net. It's just really hard right now. It's like the worst time. I would equate it to the Pistons being in the same division with LeBron James. It's really hard right now when you have the New York Rangers, Carolina Hurricanes, some of these other teams that are not just top heavy, all the way good across the board to be able to do that damage. I really think that was a 7-game series against Carolina last year that if they got through that, they could have been able to make some more damage. I understand it sucks to be in a situation where your team gets in the first round and gets eliminated. Hell, we went through that a lot here in Hockeytown where that happened. We're just trying to extend the streak as much as possible. So I do understand your point of wanting to try to rebuild a little bit to get to that next step and getting back to a legitimate cup contender. But that takes time, and it also takes a willingness to do so, because sometimes the owners just don't want to do that. But I will give you one thing. Bruce Cassidy is very happy, I think, to be in Vegas, and I think the Golden Knights are very happy to get him, because as tumultuous as that franchise is, Golden Knights have to be doing backflips to get a coach like that.
The Golden Knights are going to be doing pretty good.
As long as they stay healthy, I feel like that's a team that can still do some damage. But they just seem like ever since they were chasing that cup in the first season since losing the Capitals, they're trying to go to the roulette table, the craps table, go all in or roll nothing but sevens. And that does bite you in the ass at some point. You can't keep using all this draft capital and trading everything away. So they got to stay healthy if they want to get to where they want to be. Let's take a look, as we don't have many goals to speak of here in this second period. It's 3-2 lead for the Kings after 2. David Perron scored for the Red Wings with Dominic Kubalik and Ole Mata, and then Philip Dano from Trevor Moore and Sean Dursey at the 16-18 marker. Let's see what our scores are. I might be able to turn on the baseball game here, Patrick, in the interim if there is. We got about a 10-minute break, so I can flip over here.
Hello, welcome to TikTok. Like Nhl 48. These guys experience dropping testosterone. Don't worry, it can solve this. Some guys still know best about how to boost their testosterone.
All right.
Nugenetic Soda Tea is a unique man-boosting formula powered by test
So, do you work for a newspaper?
I did. I worked at the Oakland Press for about 7 years. Now I'm kind of just on my own making content. I'm not really working for anybody right now. I worked a little bit at Orchard Lake St. Mary's calling games. I worked at the Detroit Skate Club a little bit, doing some stuff on the weekends in Bloomfield Hills. But like right now, I'm just on my own here. So I'm just trying to make content. I know that doesn't pay the bills and all that, but that is what I'm doing right now. Hopefully I could get picked up at some point and work again. I would appreciate that, but hopefully it ends up working out at some point. Not exactly sure what I can do. You know, cerebral palsy and all that stuff's kind of hard, but at least I'm willing to do things. It's just hard to find work.
Yeah.
All right, so let's look at this real quick. I'm going to pull up this Espn Box Score. We're still delayed between Cleveland and New York. Question is, are they going to actually get this baseball game in today, or are they calling this off? I haven't heard anything yet. So right now on the TBS side, it just says stay tuned for details. I was going to try to throw over there just to see if we could keep anybody updated here, but their game hasn't even started yet. And that is a winner go home game 5 between the Guardians and the Yankees. So catch anybody up on the YouTube side. We are in the second intermission right now. Shouldn't be too much longer, about another 7 minutes or so. It was Adam Ernie starting the scoring from Pew Suter and Oli Mata, and then the LA Kings got the next to the first period from Gabe Villiardi, Alex Iafallo, and Drew Doughty. Adrian Kempe scored at the 14:40 mark to make it a 2-1 lead for the Kings. Kevin Fiala and Nhl Scoreboard got the assists. And then when we started the second period, it was the 9:15 marker, David Perron. It was an excellent save there from Jonathan Quick, sliding all the way over to the right post just a couple minutes prior. And then some good puck movement there allowed David Perron to get open on an open left side faceoff dot for a 1T. He tied the game at 2, and then Philip Dano, your latest goal scorer at 16-18, is where it stands right now with a 3-2 Kings lead with Trevor Moore and Sean Dursey with the assists. The game between the Guardians and the Yankees is not underway yet. So I think that was the one time I'll mention this. I'm always hesitant to do baseball games. I was able to get the Rays Guardians, both wild card games done. I had a 15-inning marathon, and I didn't think I was going to make it the whole way through. But when there's rain delays and you're trying to do a game and you're trying to get schedules and everything else in front of you, and that's why I've only done 3 baseball games all year, and 2 of them happen to be in the wild card. It's always difficult when you're trying to do a game with a team that doesn't play in a dome, because it puts you in a situation where you're just in constraints of trying to get the game in and staying up as long as you can to try to get all the stuff written down. So that is why I haven't covered too much, but I think on the Friday side, we'll get a baseball game in. So let me just update everybody here on the schedule side, just in case you're following along. Pull this up. So with tonight, with Patrick here, we got the LA Kings and Red Wings, and I'll be here till the game closes. And again, I'll thank Patrick very much again while he's in here, even joining me here to do this for the first time. And then on Wednesday, after an off day, because I got to spend time with the misses there, Pelicans and Nets, 7:30 on Wednesday, so there'll be a basketball season opener. Thursday will be Stars Maple Leafs at 7 p.m. Friday is going to be Padres and Phillies, and LCS Game 3. I'm going to try my best to get a baseball game in there. Hopefully, any inclement weather can stay. And on Saturday is going to be an open spot. I usually get joined by Cooper Hopkins doing Flames games, but that's always hit and miss whether or not he can be there. So I'll leave that open. So if it's not Hurricanes Flames, it could be Golden Knights Avalanche, or maybe a basketball game there instead on Saturday. So Wednesday will be the next broadcast with Pelicans Nets, and I'll be here Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then we will close out the week, because Sunday is usually typing up the football reports and the games and getting the picks in on Saturday, because I still have to do picks against the spread. Although I'm not doing that good this year right now. I'm like 5 games under. But I've been in the same group for about 5 or 6 years now. I've more than made my money. Just to be nice for the next couple of years to actually make some money again. But I don't think that's going to happen this year. I'm just not doing a very good job of picking some of these games this year for some reason. I'm getting bit by the point spreads pretty heartily. Like even yesterday, for example, it was Buffalo Bills and Kansas City Chiefs. Now, obviously, everybody else be taking the Bills. I didn't. I took the 3.5 points, lost by 1. The only teams that I've really been good with this year, Patrick, against the spread with the points are Atlanta, Houston, and I think there was like one of them, maybe even Jacksonville, because they always seem to get a lot of points. I seem to win those games. The Lions are always hit and miss too when we have to pick those games, because sometimes I think they're going to win or cover, and then sometimes we get games like last week, so I just don't know. Got about another couple minutes here before third period puck drop. It is a 3-2 lead for the LA Kings. Hopefully here for the Red Wings, I will say this, not trying to sound like too much of a homer here, but it's one of those situations where they can show you something again in the third period. Again, 3 games in 4 nights is a tall task. Doesn't matter what the schedule is, and the Kings are probably, if we're being honest, the first good team that they've played throughout this stretch. Again, they'll get a chance to pick up a win against the Blackhawks and maybe go 3-1 on the season at worst. And a good start is a good start, no doubt about that. But it'll be interesting to see what kind of effort they come out with, because I will say this, over the last few years of Jeff Blashill, there just certainly feels like times where the team, I wouldn't say has given up, but they just get absolutely outplayed and they get the barn doors blown off. I've yet to see that happen under Derek Lalonde, but again, this is the first true test tonight. And I want to see, as the Red Wings were pretty, I would say they hung around through February last year, with all the moves that were made, maybe into March and April, the Red Wings can continue to hang around and maybe fight for a playoff spot. The interesting thing here to me, I know we got Patrick in here, is when I did the show, it was probably almost 2 months ago now, of the NHL trade deadline, and I had Cooper Hopkins in here, and I told him to take a team that missed the playoffs to make it next year and a team that made it to miss. He said the Bruins were going to miss with all the injuries, and he said the Red Wings were going to make it. He didn't say it because of me. He thought with all the new additions that the Red Wings would be able to fight to the end. And this is one of those games there, Patrick, where we can see firsthand in this third period as we're going to be getting ready for puck drop whether or not the Wings can battle back. They've stayed in this game for a long time, and Perron's look good. Maybe there's a couple chances here, Patrick, that Ville Husso might have liked back, but I do think this has been a good fight considering no Verona and no Bertuzzi tonight and for the foreseeable future. On the western side of who could make it and who would leave, I don't see much changing. Again, I know it's early. Dallas Stars have looked pretty good. They're in action tonight. They won their first 2 games against Nashville. That was one of those bubble teams, along with Nashville, who was already 2-2 on the season. They won both their games in Prague against the Sharks. They lost both their games against the Stars. So let's get back into the official call here as we're getting set for this third period. Red Wings are going to be on a power play. Mickey Redmond is with us in the glass to be able to see any action that's going along. And I think there's a lot more room in the broadcasting side in the parts of the glass than there were at Jill Lewis. It was pretty condensed. So you have a lot more room to watch and see the action here. So getting set for puck drop. There's a chance for Dylan Larkin to win the draw, but he cannot do it. I did go to 1 game against, I'll make it 2. I did go to 2 games because I went on my birthday last year, March 22nd, against the Flyers. But the first game I went to was against the Toronto Maple Leafs. And that was an electric crowd, Patrick. It doesn't matter. Again, I know we're rooting for the Red Wings here tonight and things like that. It was completely sold out because, again, all you got to do is hop that border over there and that bridge. And it was awesome, honestly, completely electric. If you want to talk about pain, you're thinking about the Toronto Maple Leafs not winning a playoff series since 2004. But LCA is a great place to watch a hockey game. Good pass across there for the Red Wings off of some good puck movement on the power play, but they're not getting shots yet. Kubalik.
Less than 20 minutes.
Yeah, we'll see what ends up happening here as the Red Wings power play is now 0 for 2. It's 3-2 on the score sheet. The shots are the same at 23, but the LA Kings got the 3-2 lead right now. Dumped down in the defensive zone by the Kings, but Over Soderblom is going to pick this one up now. Again, all 6'8" of him. You can tell, even if you're far away from your TV, That is the tallest man on the ice. It's a 3-on-2 entry. Kaliev couldn't find it as the Red Wings break this up as Ben Chirot tries to get a piece of it. Chirot off the backhand near the right faceoff dot, now circling in the right side red line. Still got it. Andrew Kopp waiting for the puck to get pried loose, but he's going to have to peel back now as the LA Kings have this in their defensive zone. It's the first line out there right now with Iafallo and Nhl Scoreboard. Longtime captain's got it now. Good cross pass, but good deflection there by Soderblom, who came all the way back over. So 18:02 left to go in the third. We get a stoppage as you see Mickey Redmond talking to Alex Nedeljkovic. He is one of those guys that is a free agent after the season. He was a great pickup from the Carolina Hurricanes. We will see if Alex Nedeljkovic will still be here through the trade deadline in March. And if he has a great year with Sebastian Cossa coming up, who knows? He could be on his way out. He could fetch a nice price. So picked up now. Yeah, so here's the thing. The goaltending maybe tonight with Ville Husso hasn't been good, but the shutout, against Montreal was good. But again, I'm with you. I think the goaltending might have been a little bit left desired tonight, and maybe the defense a little bit desired tonight, but that's usually what we see against good teams. But still, instead of this being a 6-2 game, Patrick, it's 3-2 with lots of intrigue. 17:30 left to go in the third.
I don't take any more victories. I need to see a Wings victory here.
You do want to see a Wings victory here on our first broadcast together, but I feel like I also lobbed you maybe a hand grenade going in, considering it's 3 games in 4 nights. So hopefully maybe I will continue to do that. But this was a nice quiet night mostly, with the exception of the baseball game that hasn't started yet. So Red Wings got it now. David Perron will get this across to Philip Peronic with a blast, but it goes near the left side of the faceoff dot. Picked up now by the Kings. As Kevin Fiala will get this one in deep. Ville Husso will play it. Red Wings having trouble trying to get this out of their zone right now, and it's picked up near the blue line into an open right wing side as Victor Arvidsson gets written off the puck nicely there by Olli Mata. Mata trying to find it there with Larkin, and now they can finally break out there as Sundqvist has it now. He's going to just dump this one in deep. Try to pinch in for the Red Wings here, but the LA Kings able to break out left to right across your radio dial. About 16:20 left to go in this third period. Robert Haig has it now, but he gets worked off the puck. Did Michael Rasmussen off the pass, and this falls back to Sean Durzi and across the red line. Rasmussen open in the high slot, lets it go. It gets deflected. Jonathan Quick doesn't know where it is, and it bounced out of play. What was that, Patrick?
Good 24 shots under 22.
Yeah, you know what? I will say this. In the sense of badly being outshot on Saturday against the New Jersey Devils, with the exception, as you said, with a couple goals against it, you might not want to see. I do think that this has been a pretty good effort for the Red Wings, all things considered. So we'll see if they can find a way to break through here. So Rasmussen lost the draw, but it's still alive in between the skate blades. Kings try to pinch this one ahead. Picked up now by Moritz Seider there momentarily. The Soderblom throws it to him, but Seider's got a stick handle away from Adrian Kempe and buys some space. Soderblom couldn't get in the correct spot in the high slot, and one of the Kings players gets knocked down, but the play is still live. So Red Wings now trying to break out right to left. They're in the all-red jerseys at home at LCA right now. John and I are with you in the call, joined by Patrick Rush on the Colorcast side, and I appreciate anyone on Colorcast and YouTube that has stopped by throughout this game. Andrew Kopp centers it in the high slot. Trot with the half spin as he pirouettes near the blue line. He fluttered the shot, though, picked up by Philip Zadina. He's trying to work his way near the high slot. As Robert Haig will pinball this one near the right side red line. Picked up now by the LA Kings. It's a 1-on-3 as the Red Wings have 3 defensemen back, but they turn it over. Raymond skated too far ahead. Another shot for the Kings. Almost went out the right side of the bar. As Husso might have just gotten a piece of that. We've had 14:55 left to go in the third. The shot from the left corner goes just wide. Picked up now by Chirot as Grundstrom has it now. Holding off the backhand. Going to leave it here for Drew Doughty. Fakes the slap pass. Red Wings just trying to pinch this out of their zone. They do with a flip. As Victor Arvidsson nicely off the kick plate. Leaves this here for Brendan Lemieux. Lemieux now will check up there with Adrian Kempe. Gives it back to Dowdy. Into the bomb. Huso has it off the second opportunity. And now Mata gets it near the left side red line. He couldn't hold on to that rebound. Mata needs to be able to get this out of the zone right now. Picked up as Zadina and Valeno. Valeno is going to chip this one down near the red line, but he's going to get cut off. Adam Ernie's going to be the one forechecker as Brennan Lemieux has to come all the way back. Oli Mata trying to make life difficult. And now Kaliev will flip this one down the ice for the LA Kings. Picked up now by Mata. Off the backhand as he can kind of settle it down. 13:50 left to go in this one-goal game. It's a 3-2 lead for the LA Kings as the Red Wings trying to win this one on home ice. Adam Ernie, cross pass, big save by Quick. It's loose and picked up now by Philip Danault as Pius Suter couldn't get on the doorstep. And now Hronek will go touch a fluttering puck down the ice. That was a nice in-zoom flip there on the Bally Sports Detroit side. Hronek catapults this one in deep. Zadina trying to get to it as well. Philip Danault for the LA Kings. There's a battle near the right side boards. Perron almost got tripped, and now the LA Kings were able to break through. It's a 1-on-2 developing here for the Kings as this goes back to Victor Arvidsson. Arvidsson now, and the play, there was an inverted whistle. That's what I heard at least, but that's probably on your feed because you're ahead of me. That is offsides. 13:04 in the third. We get immediate stoppage. We'll come right back. It's still 3-2 Kings. And every time I see Steve Yzerman here, Patrick Rush, it's one of those situations where he's looking a little bit older, but I can't help but think about all of the wonderful things that he did for the franchise, even as a 19-year-old.
Very organized, very detailed. He's very open with his players and his staff as far as communicating. I think people know where they stand, they know what he's thinking, they understand his logic. So I think people really appreciate that. He's been, we're still
About 16:10 left to go in our third period. It's a little bit of interview there with Steve Yzerman as Trevor Thompson's giving some of the details there. It's his fourth season here with the Red Wings, and I think it was time this year, especially with the new coach, as we thank Jeff Blashill for all of his services here, no doubt about that in Detroit, but it was time for a new direction, and now Jeff Blashill has moved on to the Tampa Bay Lightning. He's the assistant coach there with John Cooper. So officially back into the action, 12:55 left to go in this third period. It's a 3-2 lead for the LA Kings as Mort Sider trying to find this one now with Dylan Larkin. Trying to check up there with Sundqvist. And now the Kings will get this one down. It'll be a foot race for the puck right now. One there by Alex Iafallo. Picked up by the Red Wings now, but they still got to do their due diligence in behind the goal cage of Ville Husso as this goes near the red line. Again, I appreciate everybody that's been joining in on the YouTube side. I see a fluttering of numbers. I almost saw a 10 there, so I appreciate that, boys. Sundqvist, Hronek picks it up now with Oli Mata. Mata has it now near the right side red line as this goes down the ice. And Drew Doughty is going to get worked off the puck by Elmer Soderblom. We'll see if Soderblom can use his 6'8" size to get that puck loose. And He got knocked off the puck, and it might be Soderblom and the one going to the box, as the LA Kings are going to get a power play here once the Red Wings touch up as Jonathan Quick vacates the goal crease. So the Kings will take their time and organize here on the 6-on-5, but it is touched up by Andrew Kopp. So at the 11:51 mark, we get a tripping against the Red Wings, and I'll get a chance to take a look and see who that was on. Yeah, definitely a stick from Soderblom. He got in the wrong place at the wrong time. Kevin Fiala. That's an easy call. That will put the Red Wings in the box. And all important here, Patrick, is that the Red Wings kill this penalty, and that's not just because they're down by one, but you want to see a late execution in the game in terms of their penalty kill and get their numbers better. So 11:51 left to go in this third. Picked up now off the LA Kings face-off win. Larkin trying to work that high side slot. Shot was saw all the way by Husso, but it's still live as it was deflected near the right side red line. Picked up now by Andrew Kopp there momentarily, but he couldn't hold it as this is spun around the line. Now near the right side dot, Gabe Vigliardi's got a screen out in front of Husso, trying to look for that tip if they can get that pass there. Ben Sherratt trying to clear some space. Kopitar also bothering the vision as well, as the Kings will just move this around the kick plate now near the left side blue line, and the pass goes out of the zone. 11:10 left to go in the third. $1:20 left to go in the Kings power play. Vigliardi going to leave it back here for Kevin Fiala, the fresh pickup in the Minnesota Wild. Fiala fakes the slap shot, still holding near the right faceoff dot. He's going to throw this back to Doughty, spin it back to Kopitar. Doughty's got it now near the high slot. Finds Fiala. The Kings just trying to pass this around. They're not electing to shoot just yet. As Sundqvist trying to get a stick in there as well with Ben Sherratt, and this goes down the ice. It went all the way down for Quick. He had to play that one quickly there. No pun intended, because that was a flutter. 40 seconds left to go in the LA Kings power play. We'll see if the Red Wings can kill this one and return to full strength. Red Wings penalty kill so far this season, one of 6 teams with a perfect penalty kill, 9 of 9, and one of the 4 teams without a power play goal, 0 of 10. So the power play is as bad as it's always been, but the penalty kill has been much better early. Husso, and this one goes up and on a play. 24 seconds left to work with on the Kings power play. So we can look at our unofficial stats here. It is 25 shots apiece, both squads, although the Kings have a 3-2 lead. It's a 24-12 hit advantage for the Red Wings and a 31-20 advantage in the circle here for the LA Kings, as we're just about to hit that century mark in the third period, the halfway point. Larkin might be off to the races. Off the backhand, what a stop by Quick. And we're going to see if they're going to call something. And I don't know if that is going to be a penalty shot or a power play, but it was called 10:02. And did I see Clark or somebody else get a piece of Larkin? They did, just barely with the left leg, and then a little bit with the right leg as well. They could have possibly called that a penalty shot. I mean, it was close, but I also could see a situation too, as Larkin wants the call. I don't blame him there. I could see a situation where they didn't call anything, but they did. It's a 4-on-4 for just 11 seconds, and then the Red Wings will go to an abbreviated power play, but that's what speed does. Larkin tries to win it between his legs, and Kubalik has it now with Dylan Larkin. Larkin leaves it here for Kubalik near the high side blue line. Kubalik trying to find some space. The LA Kings won't give it to them as this falls back to David Perron now. So we have officially hit the halfway point of this third period here. I got Patrick Rush with me on the broadcast, and it's one of those situations where this could be anybody's contest. Red Wings need a time for a power play goal, and we'll see if they can actually get one as it goes up and on a play with $1:32 left to go. And I think it's stuck in between one of the glass window panes. And that's one of the situations, anytime I do a broadcast there with Cooper Hawkins, that this just goes everywhere. You see a little bit of everything. But we will get a puck stoppage here in the neutral zone. So they're showing it again between Iafallo and Larkin as far as some of the stick checks. And the puck bounced off of the glass. Some of the fans are trying to scurvy away from it, but it's still live right now as we're going to be getting our draw here momentarily. Larkin does win it. Big time bomb, but Quick saw it all the way. That was Philip Hronik with the blast. 9:30 left to go in this third period. $1:29 left to go on the power play. Another face-off upcoming here for Larkin and Kopitar. Larkin's become a pretty good face-off man, but again, they don't have Luke Glendening from a couple of years ago, who was on the Dallas Stars. I don't know if he's still there right now, but he was one of the best, trying to give Larkin the ropes. Larkin got kicked out of the draw, but he did get all the way over to the right wing side to cut it off. As Oscar Sundqvist is out there right now, but David Perron, last man back, is just going to fall to Ville Husso. And the Red Wings power play is now going to hit a minute 10. 9:10 left to go in this third. Red Wings need a goal, but they still got time to do it. 3-2 is the score as the Kings are out in front. Held in at the blue line side by the Wings as Hronik was trying to get a piece of it, but now the Kings can take their time. Intercepted there by David Perron. He's open here on the left side face-off dot. Perron's going to get it there from Sundqvist. Leaves it now for Hronik in the high slot. Perron will touch. Shot right on, scores! Might have been tipped in front there by Oscar Sundqvist, but Perron did get the shot. They've tied it at 3. David Perron might have his second, Patrick. Big time rip there by David Perron. Good work there by Oscar Sundqvist. And a good screen out in front, too, by Sundqvist. It obscured the vision, and that's what really set the goal. It was a great shot by Perron. Good screen out in front. That's the traffic you want. And you got to make sure you don't hit the goaltender. I want to take another second look at this here. No, he didn't touch the goalie, so that one's going to be, that's going to count. David Perron's got his second. We're tied at 3.
Well, let's win this here. Does that make this go to overtime?
If you get to overtime, at least you get a point. But if the Red Wings win this in regulation, that would be big. Right now, 8:30 left to go in the third. Again, we got a brand new hockey game. David Perron's got his second, so that's the production you would expect. It bounced out in front of Husso there momentarily. Some danger here in behind the Red Wings office as this is trying to get picked up by Elmer Soderblom. Still loose out. A couple whacks at it. Husso made some saves, but the Kings have the puck possession. Doughty, as the Kings can set their overload strategy here. They want to just get some traffic in front of Ville Husso, and the Red Wings try to get this one down. Picked up now. Good work there to get this from Zadina to Cobb. Zadina has it now in the high slot. Lets it go. It got blocked. Zadina still with it. Tried to leave it there for Moritz Seider, but he couldn't hold it on the blue line. So now Zadina's going to have to spin around and try to find it. So Ben Sherratt out there right now with Moritz Seider. It's the first line defense out there for Derek Lalonde's squad. Seider will dump this in deep as we got 7:30 left to go in the third. It's a 3-3 game courtesy of David Perron with his second. Picked up now by Rasmussen momentarily, but then circled around by Philip Danault, but he needs some help. Kings now trying to break out left to right across your radio dial. Kevin Fiala trying to turn on the Jets, but he got cut off there by Elmer Soderblom. Sherratt now in behind the office of Husso. Picked up by Seider. A little bit of fancy stick handling there, and he lost it. There's a chance centered out in front. Good defense there on the other side by Ben Sherratt just to knock that one away. And the Red Wings finally get this down to the neutral zone. Will it be icing? Yes, it will. They cannot change. 6:55 left to go in the third. We're tied at 3. So what have you seen from the Red Wings tonight, Patrick? Have you liked what you've seen? Anything particularly stand out here for you?
Nothing in particular. That's really amazed me, except for our resilience.
The resilience is something, again, maybe a couple times throughout. Oh, wow. What a stop by Husso. Is it between his legs is the question. Is it in? It looks like this one is going to count here, Patrick. I know you're going to see this one before I did. I just see the celebration now. Husso lost it in between the pads.
All right.
Or did he? So now it's sitting in the blue paint right now, and it got tapped in and across the line by Nhl Kopitar. So big break there by the LA Kings. And when we look at the replays now, Patrick, everybody didn't know where it was. So credit to Nhl Kopitar, the captain, to make it 4-3. That is a bad break if you're a fan of the home team, but that's also excellent work by the captain to locate that first wall. Everybody was looking bamboozled. So 6:30 left to go in this third period. The LA Kings have made it 4-3, and here for the Kings, I would say they want to get out of this game here quickly and try to get a win, go 2-2 on the season. But this is another one of those games where they've given up 3 goals at least. They average about a little over 4, and the Red Wings might still get to this point with 6:15 left to go in the third. So Drew Doughty's got it now, as I'm going to pull up my depth charts here. This goes back to Gabe Bulliardi, trying to tip it in front of Husso, and then he fanned on the second opportunity. Is Oli Mata trying to fight off his man, picked up now by Andrew Kopp. We'll see what the Red Wings can do in the final 6 minutes, and if the LA Kings can get a big early season win. Again, in all intents and purposes, if you're looking on the Kings side, 3 games in 4 nights for the Wings. This is a game that the Kings have to take. There really is no excuses here. You're not going to get another opponent that is going to be breathing a little more wind than the Red Wings are, especially when you don't have Bertuzzi in this game or Verana. But the Red Wings, to their credit, are still within 1. So Hronek, try to break this one out now, as the Red Wings will get organized. Their forwards are going to take some changes, trying to check up near the blue line side and pinch in as Rasmussen tries to get a piece of it. The LA Kings dodge a couple of hits as Matt Roy will get this dumped in across the Red Wings blue line side, and Ben Sherratt, first line defense, just going to rattle this in and quick. He had to make the glove save. He's going to take no chances and hold. 5:07 left to go in the third as Joe Valeno was buzzing near the goal. They get immediate stoppage. We're going to close this game out here momentarily. 5:07 left. Kings got the lead by 1. So let me give you a goal reset. I see 10 on the YouTube side, so I better hell do my job here on that side of the goal reset. So let's go like this. It was David Perron in the third period. He got his second of the game on the power play from Filip Hronek and Oscar Sundqvist, and then Nhl Kopitar. That was a good shot there by the Kings, but it was Nhl Kopitar able to locate it as Ville Husso couldn't find it. It was right in the blue paint. Kopitar's first of the season there from Kempe and Kevin Fiala. It's a 4-3 game. It's 5:07 left to go in the third. Kings got the lead as we got immediate timeout and stoppage. So I appreciate anyone that's been following along on the YouTube side humbly, and Colorcast as well. And Patrick for joining me here today. It's been a lot of fun. When this game is done, I will get the full game story uploaded, but I'll probably get some food first. So it'll be a couple of hours. But Patrick, we will definitely do this again at some point. And it really doesn't matter what it is. I'm always comfortable with hockey, basketball, baseball. Football, I can't really do play-by-play. I just don't know enough, right? So I would have to be a casual observer if it goes to the football side.
Well, any NFL game, I have no idea. I'm the guy, but he's a Pistons and some more Ravens.
I definitely wouldn't mind that. Again, I wouldn't be apropos to joining you on some. I'll probably check in maybe on Sunday and see how you're doing with the Lions game, just to see, because maybe we'll share our misery together. But maybe they get a win against the Cowboys. Who knows? So getting back into the official action, 5 minutes left to go in this third period. Red Wings need a goal. It's 4-3 right now. It's been a good contest all told on both sides, but we're going to see who's going to take this one. Is it still within striking distance? Larkin checks up near the blue line side. Good deflection there. Stopped by Quick as Hronek tried to get a piece of it. And this goes back to Moritz Seider. Seider now with Larkin off the backhand. He will chip this in deep. And here's a chance for David Perron, but he just couldn't get to it. Perron is looking for the hat trick, And who's to say he can't get one here with 4:25 left to go in the third? We will see how soon Derek Lalonde will pull the goalie. Jeff Blashill over the last few years would do it at the 4-minute mark. I always thought it was a little too soon. At least around the 2-minute mark, you got to at least get a chance because you're going to force overtime or just lose the game outright. That's pretty much the way it goes. You got to take your chance. Ole Mata gets this one in deep as Jonathan Quick will play this with the goal stick. We've hit the 4-minute marker of the third period. John, I are with you with Patrick Rush at LCA. It's the LA Kings and the Detroit Red Wings right now in this Monday night contest. This goes right in between Trevor Moore and gloved by Ville Husso. And we're going to take another media stoppage, if you can believe it, because we got to pay the bills, I guess. 3:53 left to go. Yes, I was born in Detroit. I was a little bit on the east side where, as a kid, I would say could hear some bullets fly. Not really the safest places, but now I'm in Highland, Michigan now, like in the Waterford Highland area. So much safer, much more quiet. I moved around a lot as a kid.
Throughout the state or throughout the country?
What was that? I'm sorry.
Throughout the state or throughout the country?
Oh no, just throughout the state. Not throughout anything else. I've lived in Michigan my whole life, but it's just one of those situations. I think it was like Detroit, St. Clair, Roseville, Sterling Heights, Waterford, and then the Highland now. It's a bitch when you're a kid and you're always changing schools and stuff like that. But thankfully around, high school, I was able to kind of stay in the same place. So you know how it is as a kid like that. It's never easy with all that stuff. But now it's nice to be able to be in a situation where, again, it'd be nice to have money enough to have my own house and things like that. But it is what it is. Much better now. It's nice to have a casual spot where I can just chill with you and call the games on my own. And I do have the fiance and all that, but I just spend time with her maybe like once or twice a week and all that. She doesn't live with me or anything like that. She lives with her parents too. So gives me a time to go ahead and do all these games and not have to worry about too much stuff. So it's kind of chill. So I kind of like it that way. Try not to rock the boat too much in life. Just try to keep busy. But maybe that's the wrong attitude. I don't know.
I rock the boat a lot, and sometimes I'm not busy enough.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to do that, man. What's fun if you work all the time and don't play? So I totally understand that point of it. I need to do more of that in my life. So picked up now by the LA Kings. We got 3:45 left to go in the third period. We'll see what happens now with the Wings as they have it. Although it's 1-on-2, good backhand move. It's loose out in front. Stopped by Quick. Couldn't get it over to Zadina though. The Red Wings still have it as they will dump this one in deep. 3:30 left to go in our contest. Lucas Raymond off the backhand. Red Wings will hold. Slap shot. Bounced off of the defense and didn't even hit Quick, and it got dumped down the ice. So maybe a couple more transitions down the ice before the Red Wings start to think about pulling that goalie with 3:10 left in the third. As guys, I appreciate it again. I've said this many times, but YouTube's been active. I appreciate that. So this gets picked up now by Matt Roy and the LA Kings, as Drew Doughty will have it now.
John,
yes.
You live alone or do you live with roommates?
Right now I'm living with my mom and my stepdad, so they've always kind of been good with me and all that side of it. So I'm good to go here as far as everything. So no worries. Although I would like to get my own house and all that stuff someday. So picked up now, 2:30 left to go in the third. Is a chance for Gabe Villiardi. Pulls it back. And Ville Husso had it blocked. It didn't hit him. And the Red Wings now trying to find this with Joe Boleno. And across the red line now. Kings with Mikey Anderson and Drew Doughty get this in across the red line as Husso has to come out and play it. And he almost turned it right over. And now they do momentarily to the Red Wings, but they were able to just stick handle this thing across the neutral zone. And now the LA Kings will rattle this around the kick plate in their own end. Good outlet pass off the backhand. Good save there as Adrian Kempe had a bid for a goal. as he was broken in all alone off a beautiful pass. Minute 45 left. The Red Wings have pulled the goalie. Larkin tries to dump this in, and the LA Kings can salt this away if they get one more with all intents and purposes. They got a chance now. It's wide open there. And wow, what a back check there by Larkin. He saved a goal, but it's still live right now. And across the right side red line. That is unbelievable. I didn't think there was any way that wouldn't be finished. It's still 4-3. A minute 15 left to go in the third. Now Kubalik trying to keep this in. Larkin has to be tired coming all the way back in, keeps it alive. Raven off the backhand. Sundqvist watch it goes by. Haig with Sider. Now a chance for Perron as he just missed it. Try to get picked up by Perron as the Red Wings trying to hold this in. Sider's got to get back quickly as he's still with it in between his skate plates. Somehow he keeps it alive. David Perron cross past to Sundqvist, but it got blocked. Raymond now has a chance here with David Perron near an open right circle. Alfred scores! Red Wings tie it! Unbelievable effort! And Dylan Larkin, you have to give him full marks for that stop with the empty net, Patrick. That was crazy.
Shout out Detroit, man.
Wow! That was an incredible effort there. I cannot punch this button enough. Dylan Larkin coming all the way back. It was the most emptiest the nets of possible. Victor Arvidsson thought he had one. Dylan Larkin comes all the way back to just knock it away. And then the Red Wings, after some great puck movement for about 25 seconds, they find a way to score and tie this game at 4. So, Patrick, you wanted them to finish it in regulation. This looks more like an overtime, but the Red Wings have to be careful. The LA Kings have scored some quick goals in this contest. That is what the Red Wings need right now. It's 30 seconds. Doughty plays this down. It's a one-on-one developing here for the LA Kings, trying to race against Husso. All of a sudden now, again, we've used this button before, a brand new hockey game and a chance for Ville Husso to possibly play overtime. Red Wings got to kill this final 15 seconds, though. It's not over. Doughty, bomb, saved by Husso. It's near the right side red line. Doughty again, but it went just wide of the right post. Not on a 4 seconds. Adam Ernie trying to get this one down, and the Red Wings will. Let's go to 3-on-3. Well, Patrick, I do feel better now in the sense of us doing our first game together. What say you? Let's go to overtime.
We're going overtime.
Dylan Larkin is just getting the biggest hand on the Red Wings bench in celebrations. And I'm telling you, I'm not being dramatic on this point. That was the most open net that Victor Arvidsson could ever ask for. And what hustle there by the captain just to be able to keep it a chance for the Red Wings to tie this game. There's no mistake about that. You're going to see that all over the highlight reel shows tonight, especially if you're watching on the NHL side. That is the best back check that I've seen all year. So, Patrick, if you're watching this and the 3-on-3 side, it is what it is. You get the quick breakouts there. We'll see what happens. Normally, Bertuzzi is usually out on this line right now, but I would imagine Larkin's got the most speed with Raymond, so probably Larkin, Raymond, Sider on the first line, and then maybe Anze Kopitar, Arvidsson, Iafallo, Adrian Kempe, any of the A line that you want to throw out there for the LA Kings. So there should be a lot of speed, and a lot of times in the overtime, maybe the first or second rush could be the one that ends it. It's sudden death right now within this 5 minutes, and if they don't score, we're going to be going to a shootout. Glad I was able to do this game here with you because I could not be more excited for the first Red Wings game of the broadcast. that it went down like this, but that's usually the way that it goes. When Cooper Hopkins and I would do a few of these, we see lots of goals and lots of excitement, and he always just says the standard John Ott broadcast, and that's just what you're a part of right now, Patrick. This is absolutely nuts. So Red Wings records going to the overtime last season, 8-8. The Kings were 5-7. So again, if we don't get a goal here in this overtime in this 5 minutes, we'll be going to a shootout. So it's Anze Kopitar with Dylan Larkin, and again, the Red Wings, they could have went from not getting any points in this game to at least securing a point. So they've got 5 points in the first 6 games.
It's gonna be Detroit.
So here's a chance now, Adrian Kempe. There's a lot of space now on this 3-on-3, and these teams are usually patient, so you cannot get caught with your hand in the cookie jar here and go too deep. You want to stay in your position and attack when you need to. Don't get tired. Kempe now racing here in open right wing, holding off the backhand, partially knocked the net off, and I think it took away Husso's goal stick, and this is going to be trouble here for the Red Wings. So somebody should be knocking that stick ahead there for Husso. I think he's going to go get time to pick this one up, as Raymond now will hold. And there's going to be a change, and that was a little bit of a dangerous one there for the Red Wings. But it's 4:05 left to go in this overtime, tied at 4. Red Wings, and then Larkin trying to spin around, trying to wrap this one in, played there by Quick, and that was dangerous as well. And now here's a breakout pass. The LA Kings 2-on-1 developing, cross, and they score. The LA Kings win this one in overtime, and I think it was Philip Dano that was the game winner. So the LA Kings probably could have got this one in regulation. The Red Wings do get a point out of it, however, and that was an entertaining 5-4 contest, Patrick. I'm glad you could join me here for this one.
Yes, but yeah, it's entertaining.
I can imagine that, man, but hopefully we'll get a chance to do a lot more of these games and have some fun with it, and I will check you throughout the season. I'll probably hit you up on Sunday if I see you doing that Cowboys game, just to see how you're doing, man, because always I appreciate you checking in with me and always leaving in kind words, man. You've always been good about all that stuff, so it's been a pleasure to work with you.
We gotta do more games. Queue for new lines game with me.
Definitely. We will figure it out here shortly, man, and I will talk to you soon. I'm going to close out the cast and close out the YouTube side. Everybody on the YouTube side, thank you very, very much. It's been very active throughout this. Again, let me get you your final score. It was 5-4 in overtime. The LA Kings able to find a way to win. Philip Dano, he scored a minute 11 in overtime. But again, the LA Kings, with the games 3 out of 4 for the Detroit Red Wings, the 3 out of 4 nights, you'd think they have to get this one, right? It makes a lot of sense. And the LA Kings did their job. But boy, oh boy, oh boy, we will be talking about that back check from Dylan Larkin for a long time this season. And there is no question, even though it's just 3 games in for the Red Wings and now 4 for the LA Kings. Who knows what happens in the standings? That could have been a game where the Red Wings get no points. And because of that, they were finding a way to get 1. So I'm going to sign off on the YouTube side, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you Wednesday night when the New Orleans Pelicans take on the Brooklyn Nets. It'll be the first basketball broadcast of the season. So I will see you then, because I need a much-needed day off with the missus here tomorrow. Otherwise, I'm going to start to get yelled at. So I'll see you on Wednesday when we will do more action. It'll be a basketball game between the Pelicans and the Nets. Next hockey broadcast will be Stars Maple Leafs on Thursday. Peace out, guys. I hope to see you all again soon. Have a good one, everybody.